All right, good morning, everybody. Today's date is May 10th, 2023. This is a regular meeting of the members of the State Liquor Authority being conducted in our New York City office with video conferencing available in Albany and Buffalo. This meeting is also being live streamed on our YouTube channel. Present today are Chairman Bradley and Commissioner Fan, staff in attendance, General Counsel Kearney Sarfo, Associate Counsel Alvarado, Juan Herrera from the Licensing Bureau, and myself, Secretary Roper. The next regular meeting dates are May 24th, June 7th, and June 21st. While in the meeting rooms, please silence your mobile phones and take any phone calls or any conversations outside. No food or drinks in the meeting rooms. Public restrooms in New York City are located on the second floor. And please do not touch the microphones when you approach the podium. Items will be called in the order they are signed in. First in Buffalo, then Albany, and then in New York City. When your item is called, please approach the podium, identify yourself. Representatives should also identify their clients that are present with them. Chairman, do you have any announcements?
I do not.
Okay. And Margarita's not here yet.
She is.
She is here now? All right, so first item is a request for an emergency summary order of suspension from counsel's office. It's 2023-00594DD, Zombies of Flatbush. DBA Flatbush Zombie House. Margarita.
Good morning, members. Margarita Marcico on behalf of counsel's office. Unfortunately, members, counsel's office has to come before you again on a matter that you previously issued a summary suspension. You may recall that I previously requested that the members issue summary suspension as to Zombie House located at 734 Flatbush Avenue in Brooklyn in the confines of the 70th precinct. At that time, it was a first offense for Zombie House. They had had no prior history, and their license is a tavern. You may recall that when I was before you, back in February, I told you that the.
No, I recall it.
Yes.
I'm the one who, this is on me, not anybody else.
Okay. So in any event, after the summary suspension was lifted, the licensee paid a significant fine. The precinct did some compliance checks just to ensure that the licensee was in fact, abiding by the representations to the board and to the police department. And the licensee failed an additional 4 sale to minor compliance checks on March 22nd, April 12th, April 19th, April 26th, and also May 3rd. Sorry, those 5 compliance checks. 4 of the sales were made to a female undercover auxiliary officer. The 5th sale was made to a male 19-year-old auxiliary police officer. Interestingly, on that last May 3rd sale, the bartender actually asked the auxiliary for his ID, and the auxiliary produced his real ID, which showed he was underage, and he was sold a margarita mixed drink anyway, even though the ID clearly showed he was underage.
So we see, and you don't have to go through every one of
Yeah.
these. We see all of them. Did they do anywhere there was negative results?
No.
Okay.
In addition, I was told by Sergeant Tingos, who's been following and monitoring this premise all throughout the first summer suspension into the current time. He says that they're still having to do directed patrols there. There's been many over 19 directed patrols in front of the precinct to avoid further violence. The visibility is somewhat limited there in the front of it, so they need to make sure that there's nothing going on and there's no violence erupting. So, it seems like Mr. Kaplan and his other members have not received the message. They've been given an opportunity to keep their license and remain having the privilege of selling alcohol. I don't think Mr. Kaplan understands the privilege to sell alcohol with a license in New York State. It's not his right. He's not understanding that. He presents an imminent threat to the public safety and to the police. So we're requesting that this license be suspended again.
What was the date of the full board of the prior summary suspension?
I believe it was February 15th. I attached it as Exhibit 5, I believe. February 15th.
No, that was the suspension. She's asking what was the date that we resolved it?
Oh, March 8th. On March 8th, it was resolved, and Mr. Kaplan paid the penalty that same day, and he reopened on March 8th. So he was closed for almost a month, and the police were really hopeful that that month of being out of business would reach him. But they were really disappointed to see he had not changed his ways at all.
March 8th, and this is starting March 22nd. And was he present for these sales?
The sergeant says they did not see him in the premise in the nearby vicinity. They haven't seen him outside, and they don't believe he was there during these sales.
And how much did he pay?
$10,000.
Did he come to full board?
Yes, he did. He was here with Mr. Robert Romano. He apologized to the members, said that, you know, he was hoping to, you know, wind down the business and, you know, monitor it more closely and have a more toned down operation.
All right.
The members ready to vote? All right, Commissioner Fan?
And based on evidence submitted by counsel, it's clear that this licensee has no respect for the process that we follow here on disciplinary cases. And this location is continuing to be an imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare. I am voting to summarily suspend it yet again, but for the last time.
I'll do the same. Vote to summarily suspend. It's a threat to public health, safety, and welfare. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Commissioner Fan.
Thank you. So next we'll move on to our regular items. We have an item that's in both Buffalo and Albany. That's 580 JMNY Inc.
Good morning, members. My name is Alyssa Yowie. I'm the attorney for the applicant J9NY Inc. I'm joined today with Ken Green, who's a representative of the landlord, and Janine Cachette, who's the principal for the applicant. The application before you is for an on-premise restaurant license in a food hall located in Rochester. It's
Can I
located
stop
within
you?
the Mercantile. Oh, sure.
Can you just tell us what your hours are going to be inside and outside?
There's no exterior. Janine, can you just tell the chairman what the hours are for the interior?
11 a.m. till 8 during the week, and then 9 on the weekends.
And do you have any, what type of live music? Is it going to be any type, or is it just acoustic?
No live
We
music
just,
recorded.
yeah, live music only if we book a special event, but it's just streamed over Business Pandora.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
So they do have live music? So
Yeah.
you want to give them just acoustic live music? Or
No.
You want to just
give them everything they're asking.
Okay.
All right, Donna, we're ready.
All right, Commissioner Fan?
Okay, I'm going to vote to approve with the bathroom waiver. I'm going to do 11 p.m. across the board. Live music is okay. No private events, no third-party promoters.
And just so the record's clear, they also asked for recorded DJ, karaoke, and patron dancing. All of that's okay as well. And I vote to approve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Been approved. All right, and Nicole, that's it in Buffalo, correct?
That is correct.
All right, just leave it up till 10:30. Thank you. So in Albany, next is 578 UNTOUCH Inc.
Do we begin speaking now? Yeah.
Yeah,
My
go
name
ahead
is
and
George
introduce
Mansfield.
Yeah, my name is Thomas Schmitz.
We're the principals of UNTOUCH Inc.
Why are you calling it that?
Well, the original name, basically the sign is still there. That's the name of the business.
Also, I would add that, I opened Quinn's in Beacon, and it's a very similar sign, and we kept the name, even though it's a Japanese restaurant, and it's sort of an identity for us now that we take over an old place and we rehab it and make it into something new, but it sort of carries over because many of the customers that we have in Beacon will come to our new place.
Yeah, but do you understand what happened here previously? There were 2 licenses revoked and another one canceled, one of which was using that name.
I do understand that, and it was something we were sensitive to, and I asked many people in the community what they thought about that, and overwhelmingly, people like the idea of keeping the name, but, it's not that imperative for us. We just thought that that was a good idea.
Yeah, we're certainly receptive to changing the name. That's
No, if you guys want to live with it, I'll live with it, but we just wondered why you'd want to live with it, but you explained it.
It's just the connotation is it was revoked before, so it's up to you if you want to use it, as long as you're not related to the people that used to run it.
No, we have no relationship with that. But as maybe you can see in both of our history, we've been involved in the revitalization of Beacon and Newburgh in terms of restaurants and cultural centers, and we think that this is going to be certainly in line with what we've done elsewhere.
Yeah, but I don't want to break it to you because I live in the general area, and Newburgh is a different animal than Beacon.
I fully understand, yes, and it certainly has its challenges. Tom has invested heavily in real estate there, and we see a lot of people from Beacon being outpriced and moving to Newburgh, and we see great opportunities for everyone in the city.
I would also add that, we have experience in Williamsburg. When I opened my businesses there, it was very similar to Newburgh. And now we're seeing many people from Williamsburg actually moving to Newburgh. The new business is actually opening down the block from a person who just moved up, bought the place from Williamsburg, and they'll be applying for a license too. They may already have. So it is changing pretty dramatically if you're on the street and see it.
Okay.
Members ready to vote?
Yeah, I'm going to vote to approve.
Chairman?
I'm going to vote to approve as well, but I am going to ask that you at least have 1 security guard, at least for now.
I think that's wise. We certainly want to.
Every night. If you want to come back later because you decide you don't need it, then just come back later and tell us you don't need it.
Okay, do we come before the board like this to do that?
No, you actually can just file paperwork that you're just going to change and ask for no security.
Okay.
All right, I'll approve just with that condition.
That's fine.
Thank you.
1 security guard.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks very much.
Good luck.
Paul is getting the next ones. The next will be 594I, the Vaughn Store LLC.
My name is Greg Allen on behalf of the Bond Store LLC and the principal Jacob Circus. I'm available to answer any questions you may have regarding the application.
Oh, you're in here as opposition?
Yeah, we have
Okay.
opposition here first, so we're going to let them go first.
Oh,
Yeah, they're here in New
No,
York
they're in
City.
New York. They're down here in New York.
They're in New York. You may stand.
We're here, right
Or
here.
he can sit, I don't
Yeah.
care. All right, go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Robert Romano. I'm here with Vika Shah, Neil Inc., and Pius Thomas of North Main Liquor and Wine, the 2 closest stores to this application. This is an application for a store which is less than 200 feet away from my client's store. It had been previously licensed 4 years ago. Somebody did apply. I gave the board a link to the video where the chairman mentioned that it was not only character and fitness, but it was the,
Hold on a second. Hey, can you stop moving around up there, please?
Someone, yeah, Paul, if you can just at least
Go ahead.
It was also the lack of public convenience and advantage was not being served by the granting of another license at this location. To my knowledge, nothing has changed in the favor that would go in the favor of approving another store since that time. As a matter of fact, numbers have gone down. My clients' numbers have been
Let me
flat.
stop you there. Was you're saying that this exact location 4 years ago was applied for and we denied?
Yes,
Okay.
and if you, there's a QR code on my submission.
Yeah, no, I
You-
saw that.
Yeah, and you can watch as you denied it. And there are 20, it takes 20 footsteps to go from the parking lot of one store to the other. It is a 70-second walk, 70-second walk from one store to the other. There are just too many stores. There are 8 stores within, I believe, 2 miles. Currently, excuse me? Spring Valley, okay. And you really, there's no need here. And again, the proximity of under 200 feet screams disapproval in my opinion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, on behalf of the applicant,
Where is the applicant?
the applicant is in Spring Valley.
No, where is he today?
He did not, this was originally scheduled for, I guess, last week or the week before, and he had a conflict today.
Okay, go ahead.
Is he gonna have a
but again-
conflict 2 weeks from now?
I'm sorry?
Is he gonna have a conflict 2 weeks from now?
No, I could have him here 2 weeks from now, if the members would be willing to put this over.
Think it's worth it? Okay.
I would appreciate the opportunity. I don't know that he was aware of this opposition. And I certainly was not aware of this opposition.
My clients feel comfortable enough that if you could make a decision.
If she wants to
with
put it over, I'm gonna put it
Right.
over.
It
So,
just saves
sir,
you time.
No, I
generally,
understand.
not generally, regularly, the applicants on liquor stores show up with their counsel, whether there's opposition or not. Because we have significant questions that we usually ask them. So what's the next meeting, Don?
That is June
5/24.
5/24, yeah, sorry, 5/24.
You can come back. Mr. Romano, you can come back, they can come back, or not, it doesn't matter.
No, we'll come back.
And sir, if you need the opposition materials, all you have to do is like in the notice that we send out, we give you an email address. It's boardinfo@sla.ny.gov, and you can receive all the like opposition materials in case you want to prepare.
Okay,
Round.
yes. And is this, is there one opponent? Is this the only opponent?
I mean, it's
There are 2 stores here represented by one council.
Oh, okay, thank you.
But before you send in something in writing, so you should request what
Right.
he sent in writing before the next meeting, so you know what the opposition really is.
Yes, I was not aware that they had submitted anything.
Okay, well,
all right.
I,
What was that?
no, I would just ask that, is it necessary for them to
No,
come
they
back?
don't need to come
So they
back.
don't have, right.
no, that's fine, thank you. I'm sorry I wasn't here last time.
All right. So May 24th.
So you don't,
Thank you so much.
Yep,
okay. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Yep.
Thank you,
Next in
members.
Albany is 546 and 548. That's Nashville of Saratoga LLC. 546 and 548.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Sean May. I'm here this morning with Carolyn Crowley, principal of Nashville Saratoga LLC.
Restaurant?
what are the hours?
What is it? This is a disciplinary. This is a no
Yeah, I know.
contest.
What are
Disciplinary matter. This is a conditional no contest offer for a number of violations occurring in the summer of 2022. In our submissions, We've submitted information, we've hired a new bar manager, we've added security.
Can we just stop right there? And I don't care what you did. I don't know what involvement, and that's half the problem here, is I don't think anybody at this desk knows what the volume, what the involvement of her husband is in this business. It's obviously significant to the extent that when the police came, he told them they couldn't come in.
I saw that,
And
I saw that, Chairman, that was absolutely
I think
the
that
wrong thing to do.
happened.
Mr. Crowley is no longer anywhere near the business. He's not on the property. He's Carolyn's husband. He was helping. They have 3 children at home. She has a full-time job, which she said in her application that she would continue with the children. He was there at night. She was there during the day. It just, he's no involvement in this operation at all anymore. And that's part of the conditional no contest that the legal department put out, that was one of the conditions, and that's being fulfilled. We have a new bar manager who's over there right now on payroll, working and operating the bar with Carolyn, and we're under contract to sell. So not only is Mr. Crowley not involved, Mrs. Crowley is not going to be involved either. I submitted the executed contract. We're submitting paperwork to license and to have the license transferred. There will be, we haven't had a problem since last year. Obviously, there were serious problems, but we're addressing everything, and we anticipate a smooth transition to the new owner.
Well, it's gonna be less smooth because, Donald, I want that transfer to come here. Because I think, and obviously this location is not the sole cause and probably is not a cause, but Saratoga Springs is having significant difficulty with establishments over the last 18 months, which causes us to hear about it on a weekly basis. And to hear that what went on here went on only contributes to that problem.
I agree, Chairman. I live in Saratoga. We're well aware of the problems that are occurring downtown.
All right, did you have anything you wanted to do?
I was gonna change the hours, but since you're in a contract for sale, I'm not gonna do that to you. But yeah, that needs to come here.
We will be here.
On the CNC, did you guys, Commissioner Van?
I'll take 14,000.
No, I was gonna counter at 20.
Oh,
Just because the blatant refusal to let the police do their job is just not remotely acceptable.
Yeah, there was the initial refusal of entry that they did come in, but that was absolutely the wrong thing to do.
But that,
she's selling the business. 17.5.
just 17.
7.
I'll counter at 17,000.
17,000, okay. Okay. Accept, thank you.
You're accepting it at the meeting right now?
Yes,
Okay. You'll receive a letter.
okay. Thank you, members.
Thank you. All right, next, Paula, I believe, do you have 594Z in there? Is that who's in there right now?
Yes.
594Z, MAYBROOK Wine and Spirits Corp.
Good morning to the board. Mayor Fakori for MAYBROOK Wine and Spirits Corp. To my left is Mr. Singh, applicant. I do not know if there's any opposition, so I don't know if there's any opposition down in the city.
Any opposition here? We did get one protest letter from one of the closest stores.
MAYBROOK Wine and Spirits Corp. No.
Go ahead.
So just a quick synopsis of the applicant. MAYBROOK has no liquor stores whatsoever. There's a small plaza that the applicant is applying to be in. This is the only plaza in the village of MAYBROOK. MAYBROOK is 1.4 square miles in size, and with that being said, the actual population is increasing in MAYBROOK according to the growth rate of the census for 2023. My client owns a gas station in Montgomery, and he gets a lot of customers who actually told him he should open a liquor store closer into the village, and that's where the idea popped up for my client. We believe that this would create such a convenience and advantage for the people in the village of MAYBROOK, Again, there is no other liquor stores in Maybrook. There's one small commercial plaza. That plaza has a hair salon, a pizza, a spa, a Chinese restaurant, bakery, and ice cream, and that's it. There's nothing else in the village. So, you know, our pitch is this would create such a convenience for the people in the village of Maybrook.
How many people are in the village of Maybrook?
According to the population for 2023, it's 3,185 people for a 1.4 square mile land in the village, which, you know, it's pretty significant. The closest liquor store is in Montgomery, which is 3 miles away, and they'd have to travel to Montgomery, and then you got Newburgh and Walden. So that's the closest liquor stores. So I think this would be a perfect fit for that village. Again, it's the only commercial plaza in the village, and all the stores are in there. So we believe that this would create a convenience for the local people in the village.
Does he have another license at the grocery store?
He has a beer. It's a beer license for the gas station. He did indicate to me that he is older in age, and this was a great opportunity for him to kind of get out of that business because the hours are a little bit longer.
Okay.
He does have good employees there that are willing to kind of help him shift over to the liquor store business, which would help him. So, and that's really it.
We don't have any protests, right?
Just one, but it's one of the ones that's 6 miles away.
Okay, all right. Since the closest store is more than 2 miles away and it's a big store, and then the next ones are 3 miles and 6+ miles away, I'm gonna find something convenient and advantage. And vote to approve.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll vote to approve on the same grounds.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, we're going to go on a brief recess. We'll be back shortly. Paula. You said Rip and Wolf's not there yet? Sorry.
Maybe here.
I was just told they're at the security desk.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, do you want to hear them, obviously, before the
Yeah, they'll be next.
solos? Okay.
Yep, thank you. All right, we're back on the record after a brief recess. Next is 574 Rip and Wolf Wine and Spirits, Inc.
Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Fan, Nick Werner on behalf of the applicant, Rip and Wolf Wine and Spirits, Inc. I also have with me Ms. Jessica Walsh, who is the manager of Mr. Felice's business affairs. She is also Mr. Felice's life partner for the past 23 years, and they share 2 children together.
Where's the applicant?
He's not here today, Commissioner Fan. He is currently working on a project and could not be here, so Ms. Walsh, who actually runs their businesses, is here today.
Okay, I only have an issue with the financial disclosure because it's showing $6,000.
Yes, Commissioner, I saw that note in the memorandum, and I apologize, we didn't update the questionnaire on that. There is going to be approximately $50,000 that's spent on initial inventory as well. That's going to come from a personal line of credit that Mr. Felice has through Ulster Savings Bank, and we can provide that note to the authority for their review as a condition.
Why don't you provide that, and then you guys can all come back May 24th.
Okay, I do have that here, Commissioner. I can provide it now if that helps the authority.
Then,
Yeah, with condition. That condition.
I guess.
Meaning that they have to turn that in.
Okay, so I guess we'll not waste the time and just approve it today, but with the condition that you update the financial records.
Understood, Commissioner. We'll have those sent over this afternoon.
And Chairman?
I'm going to vote to approve too. There's no protests. It's in a small town of Palinville. And they also own the wine. Is it a wine license next door?
There's a wine license diagonal to this, Mr. Chairman, and they're in the process of applying for a hotel license just down the street as well.
So I'll vote to approve with that same condition Commissioner Fan pointed out. Good
All right,
luck.
thank you.
Thank you both very much.
Yep. So next is 594Q, Solo Vino Catskill LLC. Please.
Good morning, board members. My name's Ralph Lewis. I'm the attorney for Solo Vino. With me is Renee Denardi, the sole member of the LLC.
Sorry, 594Q. All the opposition's there also, but you heard from them last meeting, so I don't know if you wanted to hear from them again.
594Q?
Q.
I believe the last meeting I showed up without Mrs. Denardi, and the board wanted to see Mrs. Denardi, so they rescheduled it.
Yeah, no, I wanted to see her because she's applied for liquor for package stores before and knows what the deal is.
Okay.
Is the opposition there?
Yes, sir.
Hear from them again?
Sure.
Okay, let them speak first.
Do you want us to sit down?
Okay.
The opposition can just stand up.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, good morning. My name is Adam Bro. I'm an attorney with the law firm Myers & Myers. I represent the 3 opponents, JMV Spirits, Marudi Liquors, and Neo Info Systems. Basically, our contention is that the main issue here is the size of the new location. The new location is proposed to be 2,188 square feet. That's 2.5 times larger than the currently licensed premises of 875 feet. Adding that much.
Let me stop you there because when we look at premises, we look at the retail size and then the total size. And the total
Correct.
size of where she is right now is 1,750. The total size that she's moving into is 2,365. So it's not close to double. The retail side may be, but she could have
Yes,
done
that's
that where
correct.
she could have done that where she is and just made an alteration.
That's, well, what I'm saying, Your Honor, or what I'm saying is that the retail size is going to be 2.5 times larger, and the entire size is going to be more than double. And if essentially adding that amount of a space is going to be tantamount to adding 2 new stores to this community, which I would hazard to say that the board is likely not going to do for the population density here. If you take that fact and you overlay it with the fact that we have a population decrease over the entire county, as well as the town of Catskill, over the last 10 to 20 years, we've got fewer people now than there were when many of the stores that exist opened their doors. We've also had 2 new stores that were opened in the last year in neighboring communities, one in South Cairo, one in Palinville. And if you look at all of those factors, and you also combine the fact that my clients right now are maxing out their revenue. Their revenue now, according to those gross sales letters, are under pre-COVID levels. They're maxing out their revenue. And this is at a time when the current licensed premises has been closed for the last 6 to 12 months. And even when it was only open a few days a week and only a few hours each of those days. And yet my clients are maxing out their revenue. If we were to allow a store to open in the same community that's at least 2 to 2.5 times larger, whether it's retail space or overall space.
Just so the record's clear, I'm going to correct you again. Her current store is 1,750 feet. Now multiply that by 2 for me.
I understand that the
That's
total amount is...
3,500 square feet. The store she's moving into isn't even 2,400. So
That's
it's not
correct.
double. It's not double.
At least the retail space is 2.5 times the size, 875 versus 2188. So if you're allowing someone to open a store where they can have 2.5 times the inventory, we're talking about a significant financial hit to every other store in the community. And that's what she's proposing. She's proposing 2,188 square feet of what she can use to sell alcohol, regardless of what she's going to use for the other side, the other square footage of the premises.
How
So
big
for
are your
all of
clients?
those reasons-
How big are your clients' stores? All 3 of them.
One, I believe, is 1,200, correct? One is 2,900, and one is just under 5,000. So we're looking at stores that have been in this area for many years, maxing out their revenue, and this is, again, at a time when the currently licensed premises has been closed for a significant period, and even before it was closed, when it was operating at basically a skeleton schedule. It's only a few days a week and only a few hours each day. We add this store that is allowing 2.5 times the size of the inventory, plus the fact of where it's going to be located on a state highway with greater visibility and greater exposure to the community overall, as well as other people passing through the community, and you're looking at a significant financial hit to all 3 of my clients.
Okay. Put the applicant up there. Go ahead, sir.
Yes.
You.
Oh, okay. You know, as far as the store goes, we had 1,400 square foot on our license now, and I just want.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop you there. Just because he focuses on the square feet does not mean that's what we're focusing on.
Oh, okay, all righty then.
May I?
So you need to tell us why it's more publicly convenient to move the store.
Judge Parr, Your Honor, if I may, the store, when we signed the contract to buy the license, it was May 3rd of 2021. We understood the building was for sale. And actually, the building was sold in July of 2021. We didn't find that out till after we actually bought the license.
Doesn't
And-
she own the building?
Where we want to move it to, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But the building that it was in at 340 Main Street was sold in July of 2021. With the gentleman we bought it from had indicated to us he had applied to move the license somewhere further up Main Street. And apparently, from my understanding from the board's last decision, he withdrew that right after we signed the contract to buy the license. So we have no place to go.
Oh, so you
When we bought
you weren't aware when you bought this license that this gentleman had to move the store anyway?
No.
We did not know that. It was never disclosed to us. And we applied in, I believe, May to get the license, and it wasn't until February of 22 that we received the approval. So during the interim, we had some corrections to make and so on and so forth, but it was never disclosed to us that one, the application to move the license had been withdrawn, or two, that the building had been sold.
Okay.
So how much closer are you now to the other stores? I should ask the other stores.
I did some research on it, I Google mapped it, and the two stores that are up on West Bridge, I'm further away. The one that's on Jefferson Heights, by car, I'm further away, just the way to get to the store.
It's a totally different traffic pattern. The one in Jefferson Heights is local. The one up on the bridge approach, Route 23, has a much different population that drives by there. It's the entrance to the Rip Van Winkle Bridge. So you're getting a lot of traffic from. I'm sorry.
Not all. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You're getting a lot of traffic from Columbia County and traffic off the bridge that doesn't stop to go into Catskill to get a bottle of liquor or wine.
How about we split the difference? How about I'm gonna approve your move, but I'm gonna limit your retail to 1,500.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna vote to approve 1,500 retail.
Chairman?
Plus storage? Plus storage?
Retail, that's retail.
Yeah, okay.
The rest of it you use for storage or office space or whatever you want to do
You
with
can
it.
do a tasting
Okay.
room, whatever.
I'm gonna vote to approve under the same conditions.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right, thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Ma'am,
Yes,
over time, if there is growth in sales all across the board, you can come back and try to change it at that point, because I do realize that you're paying for that square footage.
right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Okay.
And Paula, there's no one else there, correct?
There is no one else, sir.
Okay, you can sign off.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Moving to New York City. Next is 579 6402 Bar LLC.
Good morning again, everyone. My name is Robert Romano. I am here representing 6402 Bar LLC. I'm hoping this is a formality. I have the manager, Sean, here with me, but we are here principally because one of the principals had a summary suspension back in COVID. It was for, I believe, overcrowding. There was a $10,000 fine paid, and the matter was resolved.
What are the hours?
The hours have all been set forth with previous, I believe they're 2 a.m.
I got Monday through Thursday, 2 a.m. What were they Friday through Sunday?
I believe
Friday, Saturday is 4 a.m.
4 a.m.?
Yeah.
And what are the hours outside?
We close everything down outside at midnight.
It says here 9 p.m. Saturday to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 10 p.m. That's what's in your application.
And that is what it will be.
And do you have music outside?
No.
What's the nexus between this and the one that was summarily suspended?
One of the principals.
It wasn't
The
this
same
location?
type of business?
No, it was not this location. It was in,
It's
I
in
believe,
Montauk,
Amagansett.
but is
It
it
was
the
a-
same type of business here?
It's an Italian pizza, right? It's a.
The one in Montauk,
Yeah,
yes.
and this is,
This is just tavern.
right.
And the members ready to vote?
Just give me
Let's
one
see what
moment.
she's checking something.
Voting is slower if I don't have it in front of me. Okay. No private events?
No private events.
Okay. All right. I'm going to vote to approve 2 a.m. Monday to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 a.m. Outdoor is Sunday to Thursday, 9 p.m., Friday, Saturday, 10 p.m. Recorded music only, no private events, no third-party promoters.
I'll vote to approve under the same conditions.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next is 594BB 0053 LLC.
What was it again?
594BB.
For opposition.
Say your opposition?
Your opposition?
Yes.
Is the applicant here?
0053 LLC.
Did you sign this in, Mr. Romano, or did they?
I signed in for us.
0053?
You have two signatures, Donald?
I mean, there's multiple
Oh.
people signing in.
All right, to give it a second call for a little while.
Okay. Next is 594Y Francisco and Francisco Inc. You're not opposition for that, are you?
No, I am not.
Okay.
On the contrary.
He's actually the applicant.
I am actually proud to represent this applicant. Ms. Gonzalez, would you state your name on the record, please?
My name is Jahaira Gonzalez.
And I am Robert Romano, and we are
Are we
here.
replacing the store here?
If there's any opposition,
So just confirm you're replacing the closest store?
we are. We're replacing the store which closed 9 months ago, I believe.
And she's gonna manage?
She is going to manage the way she's been managing this premise as an on-premise currently.
And this was a restaurant before?
This
It
is,
is a restaurant.
it is currently, yes.
She applied.
And you run the restaurant?
Yes. I
She
do
applied
know.
for-
She had applied at, originally, right?
Got denied and then opened the
She
restaurant.
may be the smartest person in this whole entire thing.
I've gotten to know her, and I can tell you very well may be correct on that.
I'm gonna vote to approve.
Yes, I'll vote to approve as well.
We're done.
Good luck.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next is 563 Barclay Wine and Liquor Inc. It's a request for reconsideration.
563.
563.
Good morning, Michael James for the applicant, Barclay Wine and Liquor Inc. Good morning. If you remember from our hearings last time in January and in February, this was a split decision with Commissioner Fan voting to approve and Chairman Bradley voting to disapprove for primarily two reasons. I think the reasons were the funding and the proximity to other stores in the area. I submit that there was some miscommunication or confusion about the application amendments that were requested. And for those reasons, we're asking to come back and just to reconsider that confusion. Additionally, the landlord did submit a document stating that he's in support of the application and they're ready to build it out and financially support the applicant. Lastly, this is a small footprint store in an area that is expanding. And so I'll ask and submit that to the board for their consideration.
I don't see anything new here, so I'm gonna vote no on reconsideration.
I'm gonna vote no as well on reconsideration. I don't see anything new that would have changed. I don't see anything new, period, but I don't see certainly anything that would have changed my vote from the last time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next is 570 Crafted American Kitchen and Bar LLC.
Robert Romano. I had submitted a conditional no contest plea of $10,000. Since that time, there has been additional charges. We're willing to either put this one off for 2 weeks until we submit them together, or you can consider the.
This is 570.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are, he says. Mike says there are.
Let's hold this over to 524.
Thank you.
I think you're gonna need more time than that, or? Okay,
It's-
next meeting, 524.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is he gonna come next time?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
He was willing to fly back last night.
That's okay.
That package store that we're waiting on, that's Mr. Flynn that's representing that one. He's usually a late arrival. Next is 576 DVR 166 Inc.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Oh, wait, yeah, yeah, that's
sorry.
right, sorry.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioner, members of the board. Bruno Joffrey on behalf of the applicant DVR 166 Inc. I have to my right Declan Rainsford, who's one of the principals, and to my left Vincent Ninsanti, who's a general manager for the operation. This was a change of method of operation request, which we've garnered full support from many petitions, people that signed a petition, as well as the city of White Plains for the change in hours, as well as the entertainment aspect. One of the main reasons.
They got this license on reconsideration in December of 2021,
Correct.
and you filed to add additional hours 5 months later?
Approximately 6 months later, correct. But I realized that it would probably not go before the full board till they at least had a year in. And now we're approximately a year and a half
They
in.
were, no, we're a year.
No, a year and a half since they've had it.
Right, a year and 5 months, but they almost didn't get the license, period, so.
I understand if I
see
could
that as a little
address that.
premature.
I could address that as well. I think one of the
I was
main.
the guy who voted on,
I know.
so you don't need to address it.
Okay. I know that when we initially, there was no appearing before you because it was during COVID. Then we requested reconsideration. One of the big, and we had to submit everything in writing. We were in that type of environment. One of the big factors for this request is that there's several licenses on the block that have 4 a.m. hours that my client is constantly, losing customers to.
Do they have your clients and the location's adverse history?
The location itself had an adverse history prior to my client ever being involved. This was a new application. My client at the other locations had a minor disciplinary incident, which we addressed. And that's why.
I'm asking about the other locations that are open till 4 a.m. You know what their adverse history is?
It's, I think, more than 5 years ago, any type of adverse
That may be
history.
why they have 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
But, that being said, my client, this restaurant is very, very different than any of the other restaurants on the block. It's the price point, the food. This doesn't bring in a very young crowd whatsoever. I've been to it several times. It's, in my view, you don't see really anybody in there under 25 years old. They're very direct in terms of the clientele that they have. The general manager here, who's managed several different places, keeps it very strict in terms of the type of people and the place, in the operation. He's had, I submitted his resume. He has extensive experience in government work. He understands working with municipalities. They have a great relationship with the city of White Plains, as you can see from the letter from the city of White Plains that supports this. So I think, you know, this establishment should gain the consideration of chairman and the board on this request. I think it's a very valid request under the circumstances.
Are the members ready to vote?
DJs on the weekend, is that Friday, Saturday only?
Correct, yes.
Sorry. I'm only agreeing to this because so far you have a clean record. But don't mess that up, because this is where it goes wrong, when you get 4 a.m. and DJs and then different crowd comes in.
We understand.
You don't need me to tell you, so. I'm going to vote to approve.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll approve an extension of the hours to 2 a.m. But no DJs. I'm just going through their history here, and every place they've had, almost every place they've had, has had significant history, so I'm not confident enough that this place is ready to be the one clean place that they have. So I'll go to 2. If you want to go to 3, I'll go to 3, but I'm not going to do DJs.
I'll do 3 a.m.
Right now, you're
3
approved
a.m.
for 3 a.m., but no DJs.
I mean, if you can refile right now, and if you come back in 6 months and the 3 a.m. hasn't caused a problem, then I probably would give you DJs, but there hasn't been enough time.
Okay.
All right.
I know, I just don't trust
Uh,
them.
One other thing, Chairman, I just wanted to bring to your attention. If we do, the process is in White Plains at least, if we do get the approval, we wouldn't be automatically getting a DJ. We would also have to get the
Yeah,
approval
no, I
of the
understand.
Common Council, that's
I
all.
understand that.
Okay. Understood.
And,
Can I add something as well?
yeah,
Some of our licenses were in operation for nearly 30 years. So over 30, you know, within that span.
no, and I get that, but it wasn't like you mentioned the underage thing. That to me isn't the problem. I see there's focal point of police attention here. That's my concern. I know you can straighten out underage stuff. I don't want to see underage drinking either, but that's not, my main concern is that when situations happen where people could get hurt, and you've had those situations. I realize not at this place.
Right.
If you go another, 5-6 months and don't have it at this place, then I don't have any concerns.
Right. Okay.
Thank you, Chairman.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next is,
I'm sorry, does the change go into effect immediately for most?
That I don't know. You have to ask him.
Okay.
as soon as you guys, right?
Yeah, we'll just issue a conditional letter of approval, and then we will be able to update the
Okay.
information on your license.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good to see you, Juan.
Okay, likewise.
Oh, I have one more.
Next is that 594X, Wine O'Clock LLC.
594A.
Yep, 594X, Wine O'Clock LLC.
I was so happy I was going to run out of here, but I know my client would have grabbed me. There's opposition, so I'll step aside, but it's Bruno Joffrey for Wine O'Clock. I'm here with my client. Thank you.
Charles Lynn for the opposition. I represent 3 of the closest liquor stores: Richmond Hill Grapevine at 77C Richmond Hill Road, Wine City Inc. at 2295 Richmond Avenue, and with me is the owner, Brian Nee. And the third is Richmond Wine and Liquor at 3275 Richmond Avenue, and with me is one of the principals, Sonal Patel. The public is already being well serviced by the current 8 stores within a radius of 3.3 miles from applicant. I've set forth an exhibit of the survey and the existing stores, which is annexed as my Exhibit A. To the south is Richmond Wine and Liquor at 3275 Richmond Avenue, but 1.5 miles from applicant. And to the north, again on Richmond Avenue, is Richmond Hill Grapevine at 77 Richmond Hill Road, 1 mile away from the applicant. And the third is Wine City Inc. at 2295 Richmond Avenue, just 1.2 miles from applicant.
So which one of your clients I don't have numbers for?
You should have numbers for all 3.
First one, the closest didn't supply.
Yeah,
Richmond, and it's that in your.
You should have,
supplemental?
you should have it on my, for all Richmond Wine, Wine City you have, Richmond Hill you have. The reason why you may not have it for Richmond Grapevine, I submitted as a supplemental. She had had a fire in her premises and then her accountant retired. So when I originally asked, she didn't have that. Then I submitted it subsequently in my supplemental because I was able to get those sales figures.
Yep.
The applicant is in a shopping mall. It's Pergament Mall at 2795 Richmond Avenue. However, 3 of the other closest stores are also in shopping plazas. Richmond Wine and Liquor is in the Greenridge Plaza, one of the South Shore's largest shopping plaza, which is undergoing renovation now. Wine City is in the Heartland Village Shopping Center. Richmond Hill Grapevine is in the Ken Bar Plaza, right across from CVS and the mega appliance store PC Richards. And Cornupia YK Inc., doing business as Travis Wine and Liquor, is in a busy, high-traffic volume strip mall. One-stop destination shopping is available all along Richmond Avenue, with the Staten Island Mall at 2655 Richmond Avenue. It's an additional shopping plaza, although it does not have a liquor store as a tenant. As far as gross sales are concerned, City Wine does not show a history record, having bought the store in late January 2022. Richmond Wine and Liquor also does not have a history record, having bought that store in June 2021. Cornucopia YK Inc., doing business as Travis Wine and Liquor, the 4th closest store, shows no history, as it was licensed in year 2023, just 3 months ago, as a transfer of ownership. The only one that I was able to get is Richmond Hill Grapevine, the one that Commissioner Fan just asked about. That gross sales letter I attached as my supplemental. Its records, as I said, its records had been destroyed by a fire. However, that closest store shows COVID decreases in sales, which have yet to be close to its pre-COVID numbers. And that's Exhibit B in my supplemental. As far as demographics are concerned, applicant zip code 10314 shows a small annual growth from over 77,000 in 2010 to 85,500 in 2020. That's over 10 years, which relates to a 1.4% increase per annum. As far as public convenience and advantage, other factors, there's no evidence that applicant will be supplying any new line of products or any new services that the current stores are now supplying. There will be no evidence, I believe there's no evidence of increased demand for alcoholic beverages based upon revenue reports by the nearby stores, as those figures have not been available. However, the current closest store from the applicant does show decreased sales, and there's no showing that the public is not being adequately served by the existing stores, of which are all, three of which are in major shopping malls in the same avenue on applicant. And based upon all of these, it would appear that public convenience and advantage would not be served by licensing this applicant.
So you do not represent the store that's at 3555 Victory Boulevard?
And which one is that?
It's the closest, isn't it?
No, that's the
No,
It's the furthest.
the furthest, yes, the furthest I do not.
You do not represent that store, right?
Right, the three closest I do.
Okay.
Thank you. To my right is the principal, Anna Polonska. If I may address some of Mr. Lynn's arguments. Chairman?
Yeah.
Commissioner? Oh, thank you. To start, breaking it down store by store, we have, as far as the further store being away, we put in the liquor questionnaire as this net cost liquors, which I guess is maybe a little farther away than that last store on Amboy. There was no opposition to that, and that's very far away, 2.7. So I don't think those stores even factor into this. But going into the stores that do Richmond Wine and Liquors, which is Wine So Fine and Liquors, I think it's important to note that that store, it's 3275 Richmond Avenue. We have it at approximately 1.53 miles from the applicant, about an 8-minute drive. We believe that although it's a 1 year that we have the numbers from 2021 to 2022, there was a significant increase of 50% increase in the gross sales for that year. I think that's important. Another thing too is, I think the reason why they're opposing this is because they've already filed another application to expand the premise at 3279, which is right next door in the same shopping center, same name, and they're looking to expand to a larger size. So I think it's disingenuous for them to say that they're worried about, them losing their business when they're looking to expand.
No, I don't know whether that's true, but it certainly does question whether somebody hasn't decided on their own whether the demand for alcohol demands a bigger store.
Can I address that?
Well, I can give you the serial number too.
I want him to address that.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
The serial number is 135.
No, he's already acknowledged it. Let him speak.
Okay.
No, let Mr. Lynn.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My apologies.
So as I had said in my statement, that the entire plaza is undergoing renovation, and he was told by the landlord to move. So he's moving 2 stores over from where he
And
was.
how big is the new store?
That's what I'm getting to. He also had approved by the board about a year ago, a warehouse permit for a store 3 stores away. So now when I put the application into the liquor authority, I put in that we will surrender the warehouse premises, which is 2,000 square feet. And this one and that storage space that had been utilized by the warehouse will now be part of the additional space that he has, which is actually less than what is now for the entire space. So if you add the warehouse space onto what the current space is, it's significantly less than what the current store
And
is.
then after all those words, can you tell me how big this new store will be? In square feet, not in inches.
I'm trying to think. If you bear with me, I apologize. I believe it's 3,200 square feet.
Okay, let Mr.
And I just don't bring the entire files to the
Okay,
meetings.
thank you. Go ahead.
So, also that particular store, I went to, I would say, pre-COVID or during COVID. And there's a very limited selection. For instance, there was no Grey Goose, there was no Kettle. It wasn't visible from the highway. Like I said, about an 8-minute drive, very low end type of.
But that's not helping you. So you're still 1.5 miles away from that store.
Yes.
So what's in your vicinity area that you're serving?
Okay, so I was gonna get to that, but I'll get to it now. The shopping center that my client is gonna be serving has a Stop and Shop, a Petco, a Best Buy, Party City, Raymore Flanagan. It's a very, very large shopping center that's by itself, that has no liquor store in it, and it'll be mainly addressing and the convenience for the customers in that particular shopping center. That's the main, and also my client is going to provide additional services that the others don't. And she could speak to that if you'd like her to speak to what she's looking to provide.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I'm trying to bring the business basically different from the other liquor stores, provide customers with the knowledge of the alcohol, provide classes, wine tastings, create the wine clubs and deliveries. Also, all the employees going to be required to have some kind of type of knowledge in the liquor and wine industry.
Do you have a rendering of what the store may look like?
I'm going into the type more like between the upscale wine store and a wineries kind of different. We're going more like a boutique style. So which is not, you don't get that feeling as a regular kind of supermarket feeling when you walk into the store. So we just want to be completely different.
Are you selling wine only?
No, it's going to be wine and liquors. We're trying to satisfy everyone.
Okay, Miss, you ready?
I'll move on to the next liquor store. Wine City and City Wine Cellar was 2295 Richmond Avenue. That's between 1,800 and 2,000 square feet. It's approximately 1.32 miles away. That's a huge shopping center that services. I would say it's about 50-50 wines to liquor, 2 employees. That one, we really have really only 2022 gross sales, so you can't even see what type of impact with respect to that. Plus, like I said, I think the big shopping center that it services is going to have no impact on this particular business that we're opening. And lastly, Richmond Hill Grapevine Wine and Spirits, Empire Wine, 77 Richmond Hill Road, Staten Island. This was where the records were not only destroyed by a fire, but also the accountant retired, so it took a long delay. Looking at their gross sales, it's a very small decrease. I wouldn't say anything significant, less than 100,000. I looked at it when I went there, it was approximately 80 to 20 wine to liquor. There was only 1 employee, 800 square feet, and very low end in terms of the brands, very different from what my client is going to be bringing to the shopping center.
Okay.
If you have any further questions for me, my client, we're happy to answer, but I think we've laid everything out. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Are the members ready to vote?
Yeah.
Commissioner Fan?
Given that she's relatively far away from the other stores and 2 of the 3 stores changed hands recently, actually 3 of the 4 stores changed hands recently. She's at a big shopping center, so I'm gonna find public convenience an advantage. Vote to approve.
Karen Bradley?
I'm going to approve as well based on the location of the store in a shopping center that does not have a store. It does have a grocery store. The nearest stores, we don't have sales numbers on them because they were transferred. The closest store that we do have sales numbers on is also in a shopping center, and would appear to get most of its customers from people that are in that utilizing that shopping center. So I think putting this store in the shopping center with the stores that are already there will certainly add to public convenience and advantage. So I'm going to vote to approve.
Thank you. Thank you both. Have a great day.
Yep.
Thank you. Good luck.
So we have a Spanish interpreter here, so I'm going to pull items up front. First is 594U, Palacios 149 Corp. Palacios, if I'm saying that correctly.
Can't hear you.
You can't. Palacios 149 Corp. This is we have the interpreter here, correct?
Yes. Good morning, members of the authority. Aurelia Tavares here for Melkin, and we're here for Palacios 149. One moment, please. This is actually on compliance with some of the missing documentation regarding the residency or where the applicant will be living. So we appeared on 6/21/22 for arrest. We filed on 6/21/22, an application for a restaurant wine license was filed on behalf of Palacios 149 Corp., a restaurant located at 14923 Jamaica Avenue in Queens. The applicant appeared before the members of the authority at the prior full board meeting where questions were raised regarding some discrepancies in the application. The applicant's name and names he had formerly been known as. The application pages 4 and personal questionnaire pages 1 have been amended and attached and already forwarded to the licensing department. The applicant's place of residence, which the SLA, the chairman requested proof of the applicant's place of residence, was questioned during the last board meeting, where a copy of the residential lease.
Just so the record is clear here, what she is describing is a application that was denied by the board. This is a new application.
Yes. I was not the filer of the prior application.
Whatever that case may be, and they were not typos, they were misrepresentations in the prior application. Go ahead.
The applicant okay. So we've attached a lease and utility bills with the applicant's names that were requested for your review and consideration. The applicant's work history has been clarified with an amended personal questionnaire page, which I attached and sent to licensing. I will add that I was not the representative on the prior application, and the present application statements and application are complete and accurate to the applicant's best understanding. Any discrepancies in dates can only be attributed to errors, omissions, or misunderstandings by the filers. I should be noted that the work history was off by a year.
Who are the filers?
The prior filer on this application, he said he barely spoke to him, and when he gave him the data, the information put on the application.
Just so you're clear,
Yes.
he is the filer, not his attorney. He is the filer.
Chairman Bradley, he doesn't speak English. If there were mistakes or discrepancies.
Come here representing yourself with a different name, like that's.
That's not a different name. He has I have 4 names. My parents have 5. He has 3. He put all his AKs on the present application. I don't understand what the problem is. He brought the documentation, we submitted the passport, we submitted all of his IDs with every single name he's known as in this country. He's not anybody else than the person here present today, members of the authority. Also, in Spanish, you asked that the difference between laborer and skilled laborer. There's a difference between laborer and skilled laborer in Spanish. You know, there is a notable distinction. This could have been a misunderstanding in both our interpretations.
Or it could have been a misrepresentation.
He's not trying to misrepresent, Chairman. You know, the documents that you asked here, this is a wine and beer with a small put.
Keep referring back to the old application. We did not ask for these documents. You provided them, but the prior application was denied. It wasn't denied because those documents weren't in it. It was denied because he made misrepresentations, whether himself or through his attorney. We're not asking for anything. We're reviewing what you submitted this time, which is significantly, information-wise, different than what he submitted last time.
We
which is
try to be
problematic.
helpful on this application. I think that also, you know, this is a small footprint in Queens. This is a wine and beer application. You know, the applicant has no disciplinary or criminal history with the SLA, but for an error or omission on the prior application filed by somebody else with the language.
The location has a significant violent history.
But excuse me, the members of the authority are voting on not using another applicant's history against a present applicant's history. This is not attributable to him.
That's very true, but it's also,
This is not
part of that is wondering what the applicant's history is. And right now, we have two versions of that. Right now, it appears that he has history working in a restaurant. That wasn't there last time.
because there were errors and omissions on the prior application, Chairman Bradley. I'm not here to excuse any of that. I'm here to clarify, to give more information to the questions that were asked, and to help this applicant get licensed. This isn't a discotheque, this is a restaurant. We have restaurant hours. We're not looking for, if the prior location had adverse history, we have a change in method of operation differently. We're closing at midnight.
It's a change of method of operation, because I see you've asked for recorded music, live music, DJ, jukebox, karaoke.
We're closing at midnight.
That's what the other place has.
Yeah, we're closing at midnight, and we're asking for Fridays and Saturdays, 1 a.m. That's a significant difference from a 4 a.m. closing, which was what the prior licensee had at this location. We can get rid of DJ.
What happened to the significant loan he got from his sister on the last application? I see that's not on this application.
Because he has his own company. He has his own company.
But did he pay that back?
I'll have him answer that question.
You don't need to. Okay. And now I see he never lived in Maryland, or he was in Maryland in 2020, or was it 19? When was he living in Maryland?
He worked in Maryland. He came from Maryland. He worked in Maryland from 2000. I'll let him clarify, and if it's not satisfactory to the members of the authority.
That's the problem, is it's not clear on the paper, and it's supposed to be. And when did he live at 162nd Street in Queens?
That's the apartment upstairs from the restaurant.
When did he live there?
The lease says he started in 22. ¿Cuándo fue que usted empezó el lease de 2022? El lease que usted tiene para ahora, donde usted está viviendo. ¿En qué año? Venga, dígale
El año pasado, 2021.
Last year, 2021, sir.
Which is now a third year.
¿Cómo fue?
That's a third year that he's lived. The application says 2020, which also says he was living in Maryland in 2020. Do you understand the problems we're having here?
Yes, I do.
We rely on them to give us accurate information.
He's been there for 2 years.
He says he's been living there for 2 years.
But he doesn't know what year he started.
Upstairs 2 years ago, Chairman Bradley.
October 2020, sir.
Which is when he was supposed to be in Maryland.
Well, let me ask you something. There's 2 applicants here on this application. His sister is on there. Do you have a problem with his sister? I'll take him completely off this application if he's so untrustworthy to hold a liquor license. His sister is co-managing the location with him.
That's the way this works. I'm gonna vote to deny.
Chairman Bradley?
Listen, I'm sure he's a fine individual, but the way that this is, I don't understand how you can expect us to take what was clearly misrepresentations in the last one, not errors, misrepresentations, and then fix them and tell us which one we have to believe. It's just not, it doesn't work that way. So I'm gonna vote to deny as well.
Okay. Do the members of the authority have a problem with his sister applying by herself? This is my question. If he's,
Not how it
I can't.
okay, so she
There's not
will be,
hypotheticals up here. That doesn't-
okay,
that's not the
because
way it
if he's such a problem, I don't understand it.
It's,
Okay.
I don't know that he is, but there is a problem.
But when you
Okay,
don't know where
no
you
problem.
live, it's a problem. It's hard to.
Mr. Alcaraz, one more, sorry. Or a
Yo lo
couple more.
necesito para 2 más, por favor. Gracias.
You have El Rubio?
Ricardo Alcaraz.
Is that the next one?
Cielo,
Huh?
cielo.
Do you also need an interpreter for that one?
Just shut up. It's like-
Good morning.
Hi,
I-
what number one?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's the 10th. El Rubio, the last one, CC.
Well, no, this one's different, right?
Cielo.
Celia?
Cielo, heaven in Spanish. So I'm here representing Cielo, heaven in Spanish
He
today.
hasn't called it in yet.
Sorry, 594D?
D, yes.
594D. We actually got an email for that one from the community board.
Yes.
That's what you're gonna talk about? They're asking us to hold it over because their meeting is on May 18th.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that what you were gonna ask them?
Actually, no, I was just gonna report that we had a unanimous positive resolution from the licensing committee, but they have to go through full board. I would dare say that since I
The
have.
board is on what day? Donald?
They said May 18th.
May 18th, May 24th, you think you get a letter?
Aunque no hayan dicho que sí,
Or should I go to
tenemos que
June
esperar que full
7th?
board de ellos me escriba una carta formal después de
I
18.
don't know how
okay?
fast they process. Do you think you'll have a letter by May 24th?
Yes, I will. If they have the 18th, I'll just personally go ask them to send it in. Yes. For the record, we have a unanimous resolution from the community board in the affirmative on this license. So, okay, so va a tener que venir. What's the next date, members?
24th.
Mayo 24. So tú vienes 24? Okay, all right. And then Café Rubio, which is with.
Yep. 594 CC El Rubio Cafe Inc. Cafe Rubio Restaurant.
I'm just here supporting council. You want me to give you the history?
594 CC.
Hi, Robert Swetnick on behalf of the applicant. I believe this is on for the temporary permit, set down for the full board. Who, are you an objection to this? What?
No, Robert's representing them today. We brought him up today. We have some letters of support for the present applicant from Assembly Member Jeff Aubrey.
Well, who's representing? That's all I care.
Robert Swetnick.
Well, or both.
Both, yeah.
It's midnight?
Well, the community board has Monday and Tuesday, 2 a.m., Wednesday, 3 a.m., Friday and Saturday, 4 a.m., and Sunday, I believe it's now 1 a.m. You have something from the? Yeah, you should have a stip with the community board.
This one might also be, I think, is this the same community board as?
CB3, correct.
I think that was also included in their email that it's going to be on their full board, but I don't know if it's, since this was a temp, whether or not.
Hold on a second.
I don't have anything from the community board for the temp.
Like I said, I think they included Rubio in their email saying that it's going to be on their meeting on May.
So where are you getting the numbers from? The hours? From a stipulation I have signed.
Committee had a meeting, they didn't have.
Committee had a meeting, but the full board is.
We're gonna go to 524.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Thank you.
May 24th, you gotta come. Are you familiar with the community group?
Yeah?
No,
No, they're just trying to push it. They haven't passed the full board yet.
No.
All right, and one more, Mr. Alcaraz, sorry. 594 AA, Mama Wine and Spirits.
I know.
Discounts,
I know.
LLC.
The electeds all supported it.
What number are we on?
AA.
I mean, you know.
What's that number again, Donald?
594 AA.
Mama Wine.
Good morning. Francis Buscemi for the applicant, Mama Wines and Spirits Discount. With me today is William Batista, principal of Mama Wines and Spirits. I requested the interpreter. Mr. Batista does speak and understand English to a large extent, but as a comfort level, I requested the interpreter be here. This is an
Is there any opposition here? I got 2 letters of opposition plus 2 residents protested as well. No, okay, go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Batista wants to open up a liquor store at 451 Classen Avenue in Brooklyn. It's an 800 square foot store with 1,200 square feet of retail space. The store is located in the area of Clinton Hill, Brooklyn, which is undergoing tremendous residential development. It's considered one of the most desirable neighborhoods in Brooklyn today to live in for young professionals and families. When we look at the demographics of the area as Exhibit A rather, concerning population growth and other information, it shows substantial growth between 2000 and 2001 in both population and households. Within a half a mile radius of the store, the population is 44,557 people, and within 1 mile radius, the population is almost 184,000. Within that quarter mile radius to 1 mile radius, the population has increased between 17 and 19% in between 2000 and 2001, and households have grown at even in a higher rate, between 22 and 27% in that period of time. The area where the store is located is primarily residential, and 60%, according to the demographics, 60% of households within a half mile radius of the store do not have any vehicles. Thus, having the store within convenient walking distance to the residential housing in the area is important to the community for shopping. Within close proximity to the store, there's been a lot of growth, and we've provided as Exhibit B examples of that growth, photographs of buildings and the addresses of those buildings. So we have units that have been developed on Lexington Avenue, Gates Avenue, Fulton Street, Franklin Avenue, Downing Street, Bedford Avenue, adding a lot of residential units to the area. Mr. Batista has worked at MS Wine Shop as a cashier, so he does have experience in the industry. When we look at the closest stores to the applicant, the closest stores to the applicant are located on different streets or avenues than the applicant is. The closest store being 0.3 miles away. The existing stores are limited in selection, especially in light of the changing demographics of the area. And the applicant wants to maintain a larger selection of budget-friendly products, as well as keying in on the Brooklyn distillery scene, where you have a lot of distilleries in Brooklyn these days, and those products would be highlighted by way of being on the shelves for sale, as well as tastings, wine and spirits tastings. Now, it has come in, I provided you an affidavit of Mr. Batista. There was, I think, an anonymous letter indicating about a Juan Lopez, who's also the landlord of the location applied for. Mr. Lopez had undergone some issues over at MS Wine Shop concerning bringing in product, etc. This was explained. I don't believe that Mr. Batista should be held accountable for what Mr. Lopez might have done many, many years ago. Mr. Lopez is not involved in the store in any way as an employee or any kind of ownership. He's solely the landlord. There's no percentage basis sales involved here.
But don't you find it somewhat curious that with all the buildings in Brooklyn, the one place he decides to put a store is owned by the guy he works for, who got convicted of smuggling alcohol into the state?
No, he's the Mr. Lopez.
I know, but don't
Right.
of all the buildings in
He
Brooklyn,
knows the owner. Because Mr. Lopez owns it, there was an opportunity for him to get into a location. I mean, when you know something exists, is there?
That's my point. It exists all over Brooklyn, but he picked that one.
Because he had an opportunity, as Mr. Lopez is the landlord owner of that building, to take
Who
it.
owed him 100,000?
125,000, I believe it is. Two accountants.
How is he related to them?
At least one of them is an accountant. I don't know whether the son is an accountant.
Are they
his accountant.
Are they Mr. Lopez's accountant?
They're Mr. Batista's accountant.
Why would he need an accountant? At this point,
He has an accountant.
so you mean his
He
personal?
files tax
his
returns.
personal-
Yes. Yeah,
Are
exactly.
they also the Lopez's accountant?
I have no idea what they do with the loan.
Well,
Oh, wow, okay.
I have no idea. But again, there was an opportunity here. Unfortunately, Mr. Lopez is the owner of that building, but in no way is he involved
actually,
in.
do you
the
represent the Lopez's too?
No, I had represented
No, in their enforcement action.
in the enforcement action maybe about 10 years
I
ago.
wondered how I didn't take the
Yes.
store.
How what?
I read that fact pattern and wondered how they still had the store, which is on me, obviously.
That was at MS Wine Shop. How long ago was it? I don't know.
So I was here.
10 years ago, maybe, something
No,
like that?
less than that. But not, but
But
not.
not much less.
Okay. Anything
Um,
else?
No, we feel that public convenience and advantage is served here. You have growing population density in the area. Clinton Hills and up and coming. It's been for a while now, and it's still undergoing gentrification. Mr. Batista has the requisite experience to be in the business. The sales of two stores did not report sales at all. Another two of those stores that did report sales are doing over $1 million. Franklin Avenue is doing over $600,000, and that has shown big increases since it's opened up. So the stores are good distances as far as being in the city location. The existing stores are showing good revenue. And the area shows that public convenience and advantage would be served by this store being licensed. And again, the last thing that Mr. Batista should be held accountable for is some wrongdoing of Mr. Lopez.
Okay. All right, Donald.
All right, Commissioner Fan.
I'm gonna vote to deny. I don't find public convenience advantage. The closest store is, the 2018 numbers are actually lower than the 2022 numbers. There's no growth in alcohol sales in the area, so I'm going to vote to deny.
Chairman Bradley?
I'm going to vote to deny in public. I don't find any public convenience and advantage either. There's 6 stores within a half mile, which means that they're all with under 10-minute walking. And I do find it curious that he is leasing the building from the husband of another liquor store owner who was not only convicted of alcohol smuggling, but was also availing his wife's license previously. And that store is nearby. I just find that coincidence too much a coincidence to actually believe. So I'm going to vote for cause and for public convenience and advantage.
I mean, the liquor authority did accept the penalty and
I know.
permitted that store to continue on. And it's, other than that, it's had a good
I
record.
was criticizing myself reading this for doing that, after reading what was associated with it, but I'm sure at the
No,
time.
it wasn't good.
All right,
Certainly wasn't good. All right, thank you.
All right. So I was just informed that there's one more, Mr. Alvarez. 558 ZOHO Restaurant Corp.
Hello, board. My name is Ariel Ferreira, representative on the case. I'm joined by Junior Payano and Armando Breton, applicants on the application. So ZOHO Restaurant is a Latin fusion restaurant focused on professionals, on families, individuals. We did meet with the community board. There was an agreement for Mondays through Wednesday, 3 p.m. to 1 in the morning, Thursday to Saturday, 3 p.m. to 3 a.m., and Sundays from noon to 3 a.m. in the morning as well.
Are they aware of the history of this place?
No, we were not aware of the history. When they took this place,
License revoked in 2018, another one canceled in 2019?
yeah, so when they took this spot, they took it in 2022. It was been closed for 3 years. So they weren't really sure what was going on with the place. They thought it was just closed due to
So
the
all that
pandemic.
means is that should something happen, it's gonna be a short leash.
Understood.
We
That
don't,
that came.
we don't
that came-
revoke a lot of licenses, and if one got revoked, that means it was pretty bad.
That came to our attention in the last couple of months, speaking with the SLA and speaking to some of the members from the licensing board. Said they're willing to work with the board and just make sure that they can open up this restaurant. It's been over a year already with this application and process, and they're looking to open it.
How are they related to each other?
They're engaged. They're a couple.
Okay. They live together? Yeah.
Yeah, they just moved in together recently.
It's operating or not yet?
No, it's not. No, it's not operating.
And you have community board stipulations, right?
Correct.
Okay. And you're both going to be full-time managers?
Yes.
And are you going to hire a manager as well?
They're gonna, for now, they're gonna be the two managing the establishment.
Okay. You're going to have dancing or no dancing?
No, no dance.
No
No
dancing?
dance.
Okay.
Not closed. for
And no
private-
private events?
No private events.
And no third-party promoter?
No.
Okay.
So you got the max occupant, and I'm just telling you this to be careful. The max occupancy of this place is 74.
Correct.
They have 20 employees and then seats for 69 people. So do the math, it doesn't add up.
Well, the 20 employees are not all working at the same time.
Right, but even if
Yeah.
you have 6 employees, you're over.
Yeah.
So
So we can remove it tables.
no,
and-
I'm just telling you
yeah.
how many people you let in. Be
Yeah.
careful, but.
Okay.
All right. We're ready, Donald.
Commissioner Fan, I believe you already voted.
I'm going to vote to approve with the community board stipulations. Live and recorded music, DJ, karaoke, no dancing, no private events, no third-party promoter. 1 a.m. Monday to Thursday, Friday to Sunday, 3 a.m.
The community board stipulation was 1 a.m. Monday through Wednesday
Meaning
to close.
you get 3 a.m. Thursday.
Thursday
Friday?
to Saturday, Thursday to Sunday. But if you want to change
I'm
it.
gonna do 1 a.m. Monday to Thursday.
Okay.
3 a.m. Friday to Sunday.
Yeah, they accept. That's cool.
And Chairman Bradley?
I'll vote under the same conditions. Vote to approve.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to call back up 594. Oh, yep, you're done. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yep. Next is 594 BB 0053 LLC.
Terrence Flynn on behalf of the applicant. I see it's opposition, so I'll allow them to go first and then I'll respond.
Thank you.
Hello again. Good morning still. Robert Romano. I'm actually here with Fabrizio Parolo of the Rooster Group, Star Wines, as well as Debbie Jones from Ellen Wine and Spirits. Basically, I'll make this very brief.
The Rooster Group, and then who else?
Ellen's Wine and Spirits, it's the fourth closest
Yeah.
store.
Okay.
Only 8.5, 9 months ago, my client opened her store, which is the fourth closest store. When you gave your decision on that store, you were very concerned already about the density of stores in the area, and to make yourselves, I guess, comfortable and to allow her to open, you allowed her to open, but under extremely strict restrictions, which were not being able to sell products that were already either on the shelves or ordered by the surrounding stores. The reason you gave that is, as I said, you were already concerned with the density of the stores of the in the area. This would only compound that problem, and it cleared that you were on the fence at that time. To me, it seemed that you were on the fence at that time as to whether or not public convenience and advantage would be served by granting another store. And now to add another one would be adding insult to injury. I think if you'd like to say a word or two about your.
Hi, good morning. I'm Fabrizio Parolo of Star Wines. My store is approximately just 800 feet from the proposed location. It's a much less densely populated area in Brooklyn. Everything to the north and the west of the proposed location is zoned for heavy industrial. This is like cardboard recycling, sanitation parking for big garbage trucks. This is for miles. There's 0 residences behind the applicant. So we're essentially all fighting for a very limited customer base here. And due to the nature of the businesses that are there, this heavily industrial zone, it's not due to change anytime soon. There isn't going to be a tremendous amount of building.
And you're Rooster?
Brewster Group, yes.
And we licensed you in 2020?
2020, yeah.
And when did you open?
March of 21, same day Cuomo shut us down.
Jesus. Shut me down too. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Actually, he didn't shut you down. You were.
No, that's
it made you a
the
necessity.
state. He didn't shut me down.
That was quite a conversation. All right, go ahead, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Debbie Ellen Jones. I'm the sole owner of Allen's Wines and Spirits. When I had just opened 9 months ago, you have granted me my license 9 months ago, and with granting me the license, you have constricted it highly. I am unable to have product that the 4 other wine and liquor stores in the area have previously ordered or were on the shelves at that moment in time. And considering Allen's Wines and Spirits have only been in operation for 9 months, I think that I need a little bit more time business-wise to get my feet and head above the ground. Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, thanks. Oh, go ahead.
Let me add one thing. Ellen's and Star Wines both focus on organic, natural, small producers. So I don't know what the proposed location is planning on doing, but my assumption is that that is already kind of being served by the existing businesses.
Thanks.
Hi, my name is Benjamin Song. I'm the owner of Hannah Wine and Liquor.
Okay.
Yeah, basically between 3 of us and few other stores within, say, half a mile of my business, we basically cover most products that our customers in the neighborhood needs. I don't see why we need one more store.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just briefly, I'm sure you got the submission that I submitted and you had opportunity to read it. This is a very small boutique store, 470 square feet with 300 feet of retail space. We gave you demographics showing that the population has increased over the time by 4,900 people, 14.5%. We have also showed you that there are many units going in residential development at different buildings within this zip code, hundreds actually. We also provided you, knowing that there's going to be competition within the area, we provided you with a very detailed, specific list of the products that this store will carry, and they are willing to agree to that detailed list, just as the furthest store away did when they got approved. Now, when that further store got approved, I don't know if the same 4 closest stores were the same 4 closest stores as they were the furthest away, but that product list that you've been provided is very detailed, and it's going to concentrate mostly in all New York spirits and wines that aren't carried in the other stores. We've also provided you with some petitions and letters of support. We are located near the L subway line for convenience of people coming to the area. It is industrial. There are many people who work in the area who have expressed an interest in having this store there. My client is one of the owners of the building as well, and has other businesses within the area and knows the need. I'll let him address that fact. So we believe that public convenience and advantage is being served here in the fact that the population has risen 14.5%. There's further real estate development that's going in the area because the area is slowly changing, and this is all in the same zip code. It's all been provided to you. And we are carrying a completely different and specific line of products. So if you have any specific questions of my client, you can ask that. Otherwise, he can fully describe the area, other businesses he has, and the fact that he owns this building with his brother.
Yes, good afternoon. We recently built this building. We just completed it in the last year. We own multiple other buildings in the neighborhood, all in the industrial part of Brooklyn. We have many tenants in that area, art studio spaces, galleries, production facilities, and a lot of our tenants have expressed need or interest in the store. A lot of it is, designed to cater towards our tenants, a lot of which are coming from other areas of Brooklyn. We're also on a different side of Flushing than these other stores. I don't know if any of you guys have been to that area, but Flushing really is sort of this dividing line where, on the East Williamsburg side, it's a whole different amount of traffic, and
that's Flushing Avenue.
Yeah, Flushing Avenue. So we feel like we're not really competitive in a big way with the other stores, and also, we've tailored our offering to be very different from what they're offering, and our goal is to sort of coexist happily with everybody. If we didn't feel there was a need or demand, we wouldn't be looking at opening the store. It's very small, it's very boutique.
Can my client add one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much for letting me speak again. So my inventory has 20% represented from New York. So that includes wine and spirits. 20% of my total inventory represents products from New York. I also represent women in the wine industry and spirits industry, minorities, organic, and biodynamic. So I don't have any large brands in my store either. I'm not quite sure this detailed list of products, but I feel like between my store being very specific and also the other larger stores in the area, we have covered essentially all of the product that a person who lives in Ridgewood, East Williamsburg, or Bushwick could possibly want. I also deliver for 3 to 5 miles of radius from my store. Free delivery.
Okay, thank you.
And just to point out, she's been doing on average of $500 a day in sales. So
Okay.
she's not doing great.
The only thing I would say is that all of the spirits that we're carrying are all New York. We're specializing in all New York spirits.
That's their limit.
Right, but we have a very detailed list of what we're
Oh, I
providing.
saw the list. Okay.
And we went around to make sure there wasn't overages.
All right, Donald.
All right, Commissioner Fan.
Judging from the numbers, I just can't justify another store. I think it's just too saturated. I'm going to vote to deny.
And Jim Bradley.
I'm going to vote to deny as well. There's 4 stores within a half a mile. It's an industrial area. We just put 2 of those stores in, one in March of 2021 and the other one 8 or 9 months ago. And we put so many limitations on her store, which I recall, and I didn't necessarily agree with, that I don't, to drop another store in there with the same limitations just doesn't make any sense to me. I just don't see there's any advantage to it. She is 0.2 miles away, which is not her, I'm sorry, the closest store is 0.2 miles away, which is literally a 3 or 4 minute walk. So I'm going to vote to deny.
Thank you. Yep. Next is 559 New Springs Tavern LLC. 559.
Morning, members. Phil Dorn, attorney for Pizetsky and Bookman, attorney for the applicant. With me is Alex Rossi, the owner and principal of the applicant. This application was called to the full board primarily, we believe, because of a past disciplinary history at this location. I'd like to just make a couple points as to why we believe there's no good cause to deny this application. First and foremost, this is a restaurant, not a bar, not a dive bar like it has been in the past. There's been a drastic shift from the previous tenants to the current applicant. I submitted in my submission papers to you photos of before and after, and we believe they evidence the drastic shift that I just mentioned. There's no pool table, there's no dartboard, anything along those lines. This is a restaurant. Which leads me to my next point, that the landlord has gone out of its way to select an operator in this space that is solid and reliable, and overall an upgrade for the neighborhood. It's important to note that this is a transfer application, and the seller originally had found a buyer. The buyer actually made it all the way as to submit an application to the authority. However, the landlord stepped in and refused to lease the space to that potential buyer because the landlord believed that the buyer would not be a good enough operator for the type of space that the landlord wanted. The landlord fully supports this applicant and in fact submitted a letter of support to the board, which we submitted in our papers as well. Lastly, I would just like to mention that the applicant has a good track record here. He has been open for almost a year now, operating under a temporary permit with no hiccups, no police activity, no 311 calls or anything of that nature. And so for those reasons, we believe that there's no good cause to deny this application.
Who's managing this place?
Alex is the manager, as he also has help with another manager as well.
You're there every night?
Pretty much.
What are the hours?
The hours are 1 a.m. across the board.
And what are the hours outside?
9, 10 p.m.
10 p.m. outside.
And is there music outside or no?
Yes, there is.
Till 10?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Tom.
Commissioner Fan?
I'm gonna vote to approve 1 a.m. across the board. There's nothing in the area, so I don't think it's super relevant at 10 p.m. outside.
I thought there were residents around. Hold on.
There are residents around between Gently and the car service.
Yeah, there's residences.
The applicant is between a deli and a car garage.
But that's like a mile. That's like really far away. Like it's not like across the street or anything. I mean, we're talking miles.
It's not the way it appears on the map. How far away is the closest residence to you?
Well, there's cottages behind the parking lot, but not where the restaurant is.
That you don't own?
I-
And they're not part of your
The
property?
landlord owns.
So you're on Fort Pond Boulevard?
Correct.
And there's residences next to you as well?
No. To my right is a.
Well, who did the map for you?
A surveyor. I can provide you the name of the surveyor if you'd like.
I'm not gonna limit the outside. I'm just gonna do 1 a.m.
All
across
right.
the board.
I mean, the map indicates there's residences surrounding you.
Just behind the parking lot.
It's not close by. Don't make me regret it.
No, and she will too, because if you end up back here, I'm going to her. Go ahead.
I'm gonna vote to approve 1 a.m. across the board.
I'll vote to approve as well. Good luck. And with the same conditions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
1 a.m.
Thank you.
So 1 a.m. all days and music.
Next is 556 MILU NYC 02 LLC. MILU.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Vincent Chow. I'm the owner and the applicant for the license.
So we were supposed to get something from the community board.
Yes, which we have submitted in April. It's the fully signed stipulations.
Do you have a copy of it?
I do.
They want a roof.
They want a roof?
Yeah.
556.
56?
On the outside area.
Okay, awesome, thank you. A copy. Where's the letter that says what the steps are? Or is there a letter that says what the steps are?
So we submitted a letter.
You got to go to a microphone.
Okay.
We submitted a letter 2 days after the community board meeting, and they approved it, but they were not able to supply the fully signed stipulations until after we got the 500 feet report back. And after many requests in April, we finally got the report from the community board, and we submitted to the SLA.
Okay, do you have that piece of paper?
Yes. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, it's in the 500 part of the attachment as well.
That does that.
Outdoor space to be soundproof. Have you done the outdoor space and soundproofing?
Yes, we do have a roof, and there's no music outside.
There's no music outside.
This is the fully finished. This is the fully signed.
Ah, that's what I have here. Let me give you that. This.
I got this. We did get it.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna vote to approve with the community board stipulations. It's 1 a.m. Friday, Saturday, Sunday to Thursday, 11 p.m. No speakers or live music in the backyard, no background music. I'm gonna adopt all of these stipulations. That's it.
Okay, those are the steps.
I'll vote to approve with the same conditions, which are all the stipulations of the community board.
And I'm taking your word that all the soundproofing, you've already done it, so I'm not gonna require it. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Do you need that?
Yeah, I'll make you a copy of this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you can just, if you're gonna add
Yeah,
it
I'm
to
gonna
the
put it to
workflow.
We
okay.
have one, Donald, it's in our.
It's in
doc.
the, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know why we couldn't find it.
All right, next is 571, 572, and 573 Elm Street Restaurant LLC.
72.
Good morning, Kevin Dano for the licensee, and I have with me David Hilty, who is the owner. We were asking you to reconsider your prior restrictions. I sent you in a letter. The licensee has booked a number of weddings and events. And if you restricted them to no dancing and no live music and no DJ, which would ruin those events. And I can point out, first, so I'm asking for reconsideration, if you'll grant the reconsideration. I could discuss the issues further, or I could discuss them now before.
No, I have none. I'll grant reconsideration for the weddings.
Commissioner Fan?
Yes, I will as well. Meaning this whole list or just
No,
for the wedding?
weddings.
Well, let me point out to you, if I may, that most of these other events are regularly scheduled events with charities or civic associations around the area. They're mostly done during the day. There's never been an incident with any of the private events that they've hosted in the past where either there was a problem with the SLA or with the local community.
But you know that's not the way this works. We had a problem outside of that.
I understand, but I'm asking you to.
So we can't sit there and say, because you don't have problems during the day, you get to keep doing
Okay.
this, which we didn't know he was doing.
So let's back up for a second. So let me say these things to you, if I may, with regard to this. With regard to the overcrowding, that took place over 4 years ago. There hasn't been a problem since. With regard to the noise.
Thank God.
But what I'm asking you to take into consideration, strongly asking you to take into consideration, is how hard this licensee has been trying to work with the liquor authority since you came to them. Now, I understand there were problems before, but this has been open and going on for some time. And since the problems have been called to their attention, they've acted in very good faith to work with Mr. Amarato and with the liquor authority, and there haven't been problems since. And these are very old charges that you're dealing with, and to do away with community events and things like that, when this was, let me say also, this was licensed as a nightclub. It actually is in an industrial area. You have letters from.
The information we have, it was not licensed as a nightclub, one. It was licensed as a restaurant, which is the information that I have been given, and acted as a nightclub regularly, which we were not aware of.
I disagree with that, but because.
Well, then he shouldn't have taken the.
Well,
or he should go to hearing and.
Well, I'm asking you to make some adjustment here.
And I said I would. I don't want to ruin anybody's wedding.
I agree,
If the
but
wedding is booked, he can do the weddings, but he is not a catering facility. And if that is what he wants to be, then he needs to apply, come in, and we review it that way. But what he did was operate as a nightclub, then violated even the nightclub law by overcrowding, and not to mention the availing and the other non-bona-fide parts of it. And there's a price for that.
I understand that there's a price for that, but what I'm asking you to be more reasonable about what that price is. Most of these events that he has scheduled are for weekends, or afternoons. That they don't require, they don't.
No one's telling him he can't have the events. We're telling him he can't move the chairs
Oh,
and the tables out of there and the dancing.
Wait, okay, so let's stop. I have no problem at all with the idea that he can't move the chairs out of there and he can't move the tables out of there. That's not an issue. I'm not asking you to reconsider that. That's just, that's just not an issue. I'm asking you to allow dancing at these events. I'm asking you that when he has these events to allow him to have a DJ or live music. If need be, cut the hours of operation, to 2 o'clock in the morning, on weekends or something like that. But don't do away with all of it, all at once. Give him a shot.
But he's not licensed to do this stuff. I know you keep saying he is, and if you believe that, then you need to go to hearing.
No, but
my view is, based on what I've seen of the application, he is not licensed
in
our paperwork to have dancing and DJs and a nightclub atmosphere. It's not there.
His application, well, what is a nightclub atmosphere? I don't want to argue with you, but his application specifically said
When he moved the tables
and
the chairs.
He won't move the tables and the chairs.
But he was.
Yes, he did. He did. So, and I'm not saying he didn't. I'm saying allow him to have music and allow him to have dancing without moving the chairs. That's what it's a little
I mean, I got quotes here from the lieutenant of the police department that while this was going on, the summer was disastrous for the residents that live in and around the area of the licensed premise. And this is the area that I constantly complain about in the summer, because the people that don't live there move out there and open up places like this and then destroy the life of the people that are there full time.
Change the hours to midnight.
I think he needs to go in and file an alteration application and ask to be a nightclub. If he has events after that, I'm not going to let him continue to operate the way we did not know he was operating.
I appreciate that.
No one told him he can't have private events.
I'm asking you to allow, what you told him is no dancing and no music and no DJs, and I'm asking you during the private events to allow dancing and DJs, nothing else, dancing and DJs or live music during the.
You have, there's a private event almost every weekend. What's the point of that on our end?
But most again.
I said I would give some of this stuff is not booked. Like, why do you need a dancing at a wedding rehearsal? A wedding rehearsal, in my experience, is a sit-down dinner.
My experience is different. We had dancing at my wedding rehearsal, but that's we had dancing.
I'm not going to let, they can have the weddings that were planned before this. He certainly can have them. I'm not going to ruin somebody's wedding. He can have the other events. There's just not. He's a restaurant. That's what he's going to operate as.
I understand him operating as a restaurant, but this.
See, what you're doing in my estimation is minimizing what went on.
I am not.
And when I have the police department of a town that's that size, which is small, so the last thing they want to do is offend another business person, tell us that it was absolute misery the way they were operating. That says a lot to me, because I come from a town that size. I'm unfamiliar with exactly what you're referring to, because they get along very well with the police department. I'm not saying they didn't, but I am saying that the police were not happy about what was going on in the summer of 2021.
I understand, but 2021 was 2 years ago, and since then there has not been.
Because we visited.
Yes, because you visited, but also because when you visited, you have all these people that come before you who just this morning, you had someone who you brought charges against, and immediately after bringing charges against them, they did the same thing. Here you have someone who is doing everything they can to adjust them.
He wants to continue doing what we told him he can't do.
No, he doesn't.
But he wants us to say it's legal.
No, no moving of the chairs.
He's not, as far as we know, he wasn't having DJs.
It said in the original application, live music and recorded music. In those days, you didn't have in your application DJs, so then you say you didn't know you had DJs. The application's changed. All I'm asking for is that during the events, set the hours, he'll make sure that there's no noise. Give him some leeway to operate. When they have a party, to have some music and some dancing without not turning it into a nightclub.
I know you want to give it to him.
No, I don't. I don't want to.
There's a
He's trying to throw me under the bus.
flyer that was circulating called Social Kitchen. Is that what you're using your name now, a Social Kitchen?
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you, Mr. Murray.
Using the DBA Social Kitchen recently on a flyer.
Yes, we have, as a variation of the social club to promote more of the dinner aspect that we're doing.
Okay, so on the flyer, it says June 2nd and June 3rd. Is that correct? Are you familiar with that flyer?
I have seen the flyer. I don't recall the exact dates of it, yes.
And on your list of booked events, on 6/3, you have Southampton Fireman's Gala.
Yes.
So
Yeah, that's on our list too.
Yeah, but they're advertising
Low
Social
key.
Kitchen on June 2nd and June 3rd.
Who's Loki?
I don't understand. I don't understand what your question.
You understand what I'm asking?
Yeah. I don't understand your question either, though.
There's a flyer that
What's the
was-
flyer say?
It says Social Kitchen, June 2nd and June 3rd.
But what are they doing?
It's a party. Basically, on their list, there is an event.
Southampton Firemen's Gala on their
No,
list.
so what, I see what he's saying. He's saying you have two things booked. And you're still advertising bottle service.
After dinner, you can sit down and have drinks and have bottle service sitting down. But we're not doing DJs.
I didn't tell you anything but that to me, and you, obviously, we can't tell you can't have bottle service. But if that doesn't tell me that this is still the same type of atmosphere you're promoting, then I don't know what does.
Yeah, I know.
We are during the public hours and we're
What restaurants have you walked into that have bottle service? Meaning that you can order a bottle of Stoli and go sit on a couch somewhere. I've walked in plenty of nightclubs that have it.
There are several other restaurants in Southampton you can do that at.
I know a bunch of them that are nightclubs that do that, but
Nightclubs, yeah.
that are not nightclubs that do that.
There's too many here. If you want to go pick out the ones that are most important, you go ahead. But you have 30 things here, based on what I just saw in that you're advertising an event when you tell us you have an event. I don't.
So how would you want to do that?
I mean, you have
Do
stuff
wanna-
going here till December.
Would you want to limit the number and then have them work with council's office?
No,
Or
I
do you
think
just
Chairman
wanna-
is right. I think they need to change their method of operation.
Okay. So do you want to?
There's obviously a problem here. I mean, your problem is that you have neighbors that don't like you. You need to figure out how to fix that.
And it sounds like you
And
earned
it's-
that.
And it's likely a traffic issue, like when you have a party, people can't get home. And they can't have parties. Like, no one wants that. So you need to figure that out and then come back, because
Okay,
So
in terms of the parking, we're having everybody park over at the train station. So we've made sure to make sure that the street is open. So
yeah, maybe you just need to operate as a regular restaurant this one season and see how it goes. Don't try to do these special events, because
Well, the wedding, I'm not destroying somebody's wedding.
right, the 2 weddings is fine.
The 2 weddings, the June and August weddings,
So June and August, and then
the October.
and if there's a
whole-
rehearsal dinner in there that they do that are already booked, and they plan dancing and rehearsal dinners, I guess I'm an old man. They can do that too.
So just the June and August wedding, and then whatever.
The rehearsal dinner's on there as well.
The DJs, live music, and dancing.
So you don't want to consider any of these other ones even?
Can I just say to you, I just want to remind you of what you did when you were dealing with the Glen Cove Mansion, where there were shootings and things like that, and you did not treat them as.
The Glen Cove Mansion is a catering hall.
But you.
He's not. That's the problem. You want him to operate like a catering hall,
No,
which is clearly what he has been doing as a nightclub. If he wants to be a catering hall, then be a catering hall. But come in and apply.
But restaurants are allowed to have private events. Commissioner Fan asked.
But no, none of the private events never anticipated that we're moving furniture around. It never anticipated that we're going to shut streets.
The shutting of the streets was not done by him, it was done by the town.
Right.
But it was done because of,
For safety.
it was done because of COVID. It wasn't,
That's not the information that we received was that his place caused such a traffic nightmare that you had people walking on dark streets that were eventually going to get run over. That's what the concern was. Like she said, the neighbors don't like him.
we have letters to you, you have letters there from neighbors that live right across the street and that.
And I could go find double that don't. I mean.
All right, so this is a new counteroffer, correct? Basically, that we're offering you guys, and you'll get a new letter.
Pick the ones out that you agree with, and I'll agree with it.
I want to, but it's very clear that what's even presented here is not actually what's going to happen. So it's like,
If you do it, it'll happen the way, what we.
If we do it, it'll happen the way it's supposed to.
No.
Two events booked on 6/3.
do you see this? There's an event on 6-2 and 6-3 where it's like DJ being advertised and like, you know, it's.
Is Loki a DJ?
I don't know. It's programming.
I don't hear what you say, I'm sorry.
I forwarded the flyer to you.
This is the upcoming events.
Oh, well, they have a whole calendar of parties.
I can address that.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
What we've done is, just so I can explain that, we are not having DJs. What we've done is we have had DJs we've used in the past do playlists of music. And what we're doing is.
All right, I'm gonna give you the 2 weddings and the rehearsal dinner, that's it. Playlist of DJs is.
No. Playlist of music.
How do the DJs do it?
Is the
DJ's
DJ there?
Then the DJ's not there, they made a playlist, that's
And
all.
is the DJ on the tape? Talking.
Yes, at times the DJ is on the
2
list talking.
weddings and 1 rehearsal dinner.
Yeah, I'm with him. All right, like I said, recon granted and a new
And if
counter
you
offer.
come back this summer, that's gonna be it.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Next is 552, Naranja SSR Inc., SO Pesco.
Good afternoon.
Yes, and you guys are open, you're serving food?
Yes.
Okay, I'm accept 1,000, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you at least put your names on, I'm sorry, put your names on the record. That went way too quick.
Frederick Sohansa.
Michael Belton.
All right, thank you.
You
Thanks
got
so
it.
much.
Thanks for coming in.
All right, next is 594G, Locals Wine and Spirits Company Limited.
We gotta do an advisory.
For-
DJs are DJs.
I've thought
I
that
mean, that's what's
before.
happening. This is not the first time that's happened.
No. It's on a Post-it note that I have.
Oh, you have a Post-it note that says it?
I made that last year before I became secretary and then everything.
You should print T-shirts.
There you
What was that? It was G.
Whether DJs are recorded music and whether recorded DJs are DJs.
Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank you all for taking your time to review my application. My name is.
Put your name, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Diana Levitt. I'm the principal of Locals Wine and Spirits Company. And I'm here today to get a permission from you to open up a store, a liquor store in a Bay Ridge. I've been serving the community for many years. Yeah.
We have opposition that we will let go, and then you can sit or stand behind them, whatever you want to do.
Sure.
I'm Charles Land for the opposition. I represent Bay Ridge Wine and Spirits, Inc. at 990 3rd Avenue, Brooklyn. With me is its manager, Oven Talar. Also in opposition is Mr. Slotnick. Let him go on the record. He represents 1 or 2 of the other stores.
How are you, Robert Swetnick in opposition? On behalf of Ben's Fine Liquors, also here representatives of Henry Hyde and McKee's Liquors, all in opposition.
Wait, and Mickey's?
McKee's. That's not one of the closest.
That's not one of the closest, okay. The 4th closest store is not here? Okay, go ahead.
All right, as far as Bay Ridge Wine and Spirits, I would ask you to look at my Exhibit A, which is a map of the Bay Ridge area. Bay Ridge is a contained neighborhood in the southeast corner of Brooklyn, bordered by the Belt Parkway to the south and eastward, Fort Hamilton Parkway, and Route 278 Verrazano Narrows Bridge is to the south and westward. Not only are 7 stores cramped into this compact area, but please note the following. Bay Ridge is but 659 feet from the applicant, and Ben's Fine Liquor Store is but 1,000 feet from the applicant. In addition, I have Exhibit B, which shows that there are 5 active stores located all along 3rd Avenue, which is parallel to 4th Avenue, stretching only 0.9 miles from applicant, equally distant from each other. It should also be pointed out that the 4th closest store, Calorie Inc. on 3rd Avenue, has only been licensed for a little more than 2 years, and though it is a wine license, it is filed for a class change to a full liquor license on July 20th, 2022, which is pending review. That serial number is 1348886. And this applicant filed its application on November 18th, 2022, 4 months later. I set that forth in my Exhibit C. I don't know whether it has any effect on this application or not, that there was a prior one for a change, but I'll continue with my presentation. The premises are a 4-story mixed-use building, not within a shopping mall or plaza, not in a strip mall, no anchor stores, not offering one-stop shopping or in a destination complex. It is also in an area that there is no gentrification, there's no increase in residential or commercial activity in that area. There's no showing that the public is not being adequately served by all of the other existing stores in the area. And based on all the foregoing, with an emphasis on the current saturation of stores in the area, I believe that public convenience and advantage would not be served by licensing this applicant.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been with you before you several times in the past regarding Bay Ridge and these stores, and you have consistently acknowledged that because of the geographics and the area, this is a very limited market which is already well served. About 2 years ago, however, you were convinced to give a wine license to Celery on the condition that it limited its product line, whatever. They realized that there's not enough market there, and they're coming back before you again now, asking to be able to expand what they carry and to carry liquor. What's interesting is since you gave Celery a license, all that's happened is the sales, while those sales have gone up, the sales at the closest store to that, Henry Hardy, have gone down. So the market stays the same, and that when you were granted a new license, those sales went up, but they took the business from another store that's right there. There's no additional sales within the Bay Ridge area. There's no additional population within the Bay Ridge area. There's more than sufficient stores servicing the community. We previously presented you with petitions signed by hundreds of people saying that they are well served, that they do not desire another store, that they all do deliveries, they all do tastings, they all do have a full complement. And if a customer needs any specialty item, they're more than happy to get it for that customer, because that's how they make their business. They're not going to turn away a customer, and they'll do special orders. So again, you have previously recognized that this area is more than well served. You did 2 years ago, I'll say, take a chance and gave Celery an opportunity to have a wine store, and even Celery realizes that there is not enough marketplace there for that, and it's now coming back before you attempting to expand, which we will be opposing.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, hi again. I am here today alongside with my brother, Aaron Morge, and he's here to support me. And he was the one who been helping me with reviewing my application and business planning. Well, the name of the store, it says about itself. I strongly feel that I can run my business by focusing on New York, promoting my home state of New York with a wide selection of New York produced wines and spirits as well. as to help keeping small businesses revenue circulating within the community and within the state. Why I chose Bay Ridge? I chose Bay Ridge for its demographics and concentration of young millennial families who, as a cohort, are the great supporters of keeping it local. In regards to the concerns of their fellow business owners, I believe
Push
that
it up a little bit. I'm sorry. Yeah, push
Push
it up.
back?
Oh, push it up.
Up,
Like
okay.
away from you.
I believe that I'm niching down enough that our target markets are different and the public will be better served with access to both the traditional liquor stores that they offer and my version. As a matter of fact, we've been at that area after doing the research several times and went into the stores, those nearby stores, and we found for ourselves that there is very, very limited products that are produced locally. Like the closest store, which is Ben's Liquors, had only 2 bottles of choices. And same thing with the Bay Ridge store that located, yeah.
Your husband has a store?
He did have owned before, and that's where I actually got my experience assisting
He doesn't
him.
have a store anymore?
No, doesn't have.
And where was his store before?
In Washington Heights, New York City.
Okay. And he doesn't own it?
No.
And you don't plan on working here?
I am gonna be working in that store. Well, you probably saw in my letter that I work as a registered nurse, but I'm planning to work as a part-timer, only for 2 days a week, and then
So
the rest
who's
of the
gonna be
time.
working at the store full-time?
I mean, I'm gonna be there all the days except those 2 days that my brother is gonna be helping me. Working in it. And we also, I believe you have the list of all the wines and spirits that we are planning to present in that store. And I believe it's going to, serve the public better. So this way they can have, and we're going to have like up to 25% of the inventory in the store. That's our plan.
And then
You live in Bay Ridge?
No, but
So why Bay Ridge?
again, after they doing research and looking at the different demographics, Bay Ridge has a large number of young millennial families who are great supporters of keeping everything local. And also, this way we are supporting small businesses' revenues within the state.
members ready to vote?
Yeah.
Commissioner Fan?
I'm gonna find public convenience advantage. I'm gonna vote to approve.
And Chairman Bradley?
I'm gonna vote to deny. I think you're a great candidate for a store, but
Give me the opportunity.
well, and it's not that, it's that the closest store is 660 feet from you. There is another store, which they mentioned, that's coming in here that we wouldn't let be a liquor store. We made them be a wine store because of the saturation of the liquor stores in the area. And you're moving right into the heart of where that saturation is. So I'm gonna vote to deny just because I don't see any public convenience and advantage to adding a store, particularly a store that's gonna be 830 feet, square feet. I'm sorry.
I hear that, but again, like the closest stores, we went into 3 stores. Honestly, they don't have the
I
selection
understand
at
they don't
all.
have the New York
And the
stock,
aim is
but
different. The target is different.
But that doesn't mean that that wine store that's coming in here just opened in 2020, and they're obviously struggling based on the sales numbers that we got. And that indicates to me that there's not a significant enough demand to put another store there right now. So thank you.
Thank you. Sorry
If
about
you
that.
find another location, please come back.
Sure, thank you.
Next is 594T, PONPON Wines LLC.
Thank you.
I'm gonna take 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna too.
Oh. All right, we're going to go on a brief recess. We'll be back on the record shortly.
Okay.
All right, we're back on the record after a brief recess. Again, next up is 594T, PONPON Wines LLC.
Good afternoon. My name is Elke Hoffman. I'm the attorney for PONPON Wines. And I believe there is opposition, so we can go ahead and let them go first.
Hello, my name's Lily Peachin, and I'm representing Dandelion Wine, which I founded 15 years ago in Greenpoint. I'm a little surprised I'm the only one here. PONPON, this is their third hearing, trying to get a license in the same area. It's a new address, but it is essentially the same location in the neighborhood, which is surrounded by 4 wine shops within half a mile of the location, 2 of which are new since his original application. Both Stella's Juice Box and Blue Slip Wine and Liquors opened in the last 20 months. Sales have been down even since 2019. So besides the pandemic, the sales have been down. And that's with SRPs going up. The last time he was denied, I believe it was mentioned that people of the neighborhood would have to pass by one of the 4 closest wine shops in order to get to his location. And I don't see that, I don't think that has changed. So I'm just curious what's new, besides more wine shops that have opened and besides less sales for Dandelion.
And how many did you say open? I'm aware of 1.
Blue Slip is a new license. Stella's Juice Box bought it was a transfer.
Yeah, transfer I'm aware of too, okay.
Okay, so it went from more of a big brand liquor store to a, boutique wine shop, which is what we're all doing these days, including PONPON.
Good afternoon. This is in fact Antonin's and PONPON Wine's 3rd appearance. After the last hearing, he found another location, and this location is 1,900 feet away from the closest store. So one difference is certainly the location is different. Time has passed, and this is part of the Greenpoint Landing, and more units have come online, and a Brookfield representative is here to talk about it. And if this location isn't the epitome of public convenience and advantage, I don't know what is. This store is in the base of a 745 unit building. It is next to a grocery store. There are no other retail wine and liquor stores in the Blue Slip Development Landing. Its product is different. Dandelion is a wine-only store. They do not carry spirits. There's no place in the neighborhood that carries these products. And it is adjacent to the really reopened ferry stop and Greenpoint. There is really, I can't imagine a more public convenient store. Antonin, is here and he can tell you a little bit more about the concept. The concept hasn't changed. It's still a very boutique, small store.
Before he starts, so is it true, or is this just a typo, $39,000 a month in rent?
No, that's 3,300.
So 39, approximately 39 a year, okay.
Annual.
So, yes, today I'm here to talk about the lending. This is the 3rd time that we see each other. I understand what you said last time. I had the support of Commissioner Fan. I didn't have the support of you, Chairman Bradley. So I went a little further. As a matter of fact, I'm 100,000 feet further than the other location. The Greenpoint Landing is 11 towers, 11 high rise. I'm at the bottom of a high rise that has above me 745 units. Only that building should be enough, but it's not enough. Out of the 11 skies rise.
You think your liquor store could live on 700 customers?
No, but I'm saying it's already something very good. Now, facing me, I've got another 6 buildings that are completed facing me. If you've seen my presentation, you've seen the pictures, you've seen the maps. I've actually brought a representative from Brookfield with me today, and also a resident. They can tell you what I'm telling you. I'm a little further, so I took into account what you told me last time, since the first appearance 2 years ago, over 2 years ago. And now I'm saying, 3 years ago, there was 2,655 units that were not completed when I first applied. By the time I open the store, there will be another 500 that'll be completed. I'm saying 2,655 apartments by themselves. This is already a lot. I am in the middle of the Greenpoint Landing. What has changed is 2 other things. The ferry reopened. It was closed in the last 2 years and a half. So in November of 2022, it reopened. I am the closest store on the way to the Greenpoint Landing by far. All the other ones are a detour. You can see the map in my slideshow. It's pretty clear, I think. What has changed as well is the opening of a supermarket, even more recent, Jubilee Markets. This is a 16,000 store. It's a block and a half from where I am on the west. And this is a store that opened in January of 2023. So we're talking about a few months earlier. I have all this as, you can ask basically Parker that is here with me today about the occupation rate of the 6 buildings. She works only for Brookfield, but among the buildings, you have Rockefeller, you have Park Tower Group. It's the fastest growing district of all New York State. And this is not me saying that. I had it signed by Assemblywoman Emily Gallagher last time I came here. This is so big as the district, the 50th district, then in the 2 coming years, it'll be split in half. That's how big it is, bigger than Hudson Yard. So I tried to put in my slideshow everything, all the pictures that you needed, all the unit numbers, and everything is backed. I had the support of the Chamber of Commerce, the 2 of them, Greenpoint and the Brooklyn one. I had the support last time of 600 residents. I'm coming today even stronger. It's a small store. It's 400 square feet of retail. I've devoted the last 2 years and a half of my life opening that place. I've put everything I have. Again, you have a resident and you have someone from Brookfield that can answer your specific questions, so you don't have to hear it from me. But this location is really growing. If you take pictures right now, it has completely changed. It was flat 2 years and a half ago. And whatever they're doing, it's true that Dandelion, they don't have spirits. I want to carry spirits. Blue Wine Spirits, they're far away on Manhattan Avenue. They have Hennessy windows and they carry Tito's. I will not. Stella is a transfer, it was already there. And they're, by my calculation, at least 1,900 feet away. And I just want to finish by saying that I actually brought that to the SLA attention, that I'm a little further on the map, that I am for real. I started telling that back in December, so I'm a little further. But even with that little mistake, I'm further away than all the other stores. So give or take 2,000, 1,900 feet away from all the stores in the middle of the 11 high-rise of the Greenpoint Landing. No, Mr. Chairman Bradley, 745 units is not enough, but 5,500 units is enough. Really, it's what I want to say. 400 square feet, small, devoted to the Greenpoint Landing and to the Greenpoint Landing only. What's happening on what's happening on Manhattan Avenue, I don't mind. That's their business. They're far away, they're further away. The person that just talked, she does over 2 million in sales. She's been constantly growing. She's been there for 15 years. What I'm asking is my chance to really put together a little store and to the public convenience of the Greenpoint Landing residents only. Thank you.
Are the members ready to vote?
Yeah.
Commissioner Fan?
The next stores are almost half a mile away, so I'm gonna find public convenience advantage and vote to approve.
And Chairman Bradley.
This applicant applied in 2021. When he applied, we had just put a license in the same vicinity that he was applying. I think it was a little closer to the initial application than it is to this one. But what's clear to me since 2021 is that new license, which is called Blue Slip Wine and Liquors, has had a negative effect on the two other closest stores, as we would expect it would. Dandelion Wine sales have gone down. It looks like we drop out 2020 because of COVID, but they've at least gone down 400,000. And Vine Story has also shown a decrease from 21 to 22 of over 200,000.
Because those were all mainstream stores.
These are mainstream and they're far
I
away.
understand
They're
that,
far
but-
away.
But based on the numbers that we have, which is the only thing that's changed in my estimation since he applied last time.
The ferry
and
and the
he's still in a
supermarket.
very, very close proximity to these other stores, literally a 5-minute walk from all four of the closest. And there's 8 stores in under a mile. I just don't find public convenience an advantage. He's obviously a very good candidate. I think you need to go to another neighborhood.
I mean, the place is where I live. The place is a place I know. Maybe instead of.
I live in a place that I can't work
Yeah,
in.
no, but I understand, but that's why 1,900 feet is far enough. I mean, that's why I brought you.
That's 10, not even 10 blocks.
Chairman Bradley, the Blue Slip was approved about 2 blocks from Vine Story. It was like 600 feet from
And
Vine
at the
Story,
time,
and they
the
were
numbers
both main.
indicated there was an increase in sales at all those stores. That increase is now dissipated. It's disappeared.
But this store is 1,800 feet from the closest
Which you
store.
act like that's a
In New York
significant distance. That's not even
In
10,
New
that's not
York
even
Ci-
10 blocks.
In New York City, nobody walks 10 blocks. That's an amazing
I
difference.
lived in New York City for 15 years. I walked plenty of 10
You
blocks.
approved a store 2.5 blocks from another
Ms.
store.
Hoffman, the decision, I'm sorry.
Maybe you should go for a drive together. I would show you, but it's far away. And the ferry was another that's completely new. The supermarket is also new. Everything is in my presentation. I'm just a little sad that you didn't see it.
I understand. We heard your presentation. We have it, and the members have voted. Sorry. All right. Next is 577 Platinum Cuisines LLC.
Good afternoon, Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Fan, and staff. John Springer for the LLC. With me, the 2 LLC members, Deanna Bihari and Leowati Gear. We went for a disapproval hearing for one reason only. I wanted a full record for you. And we had it, and we learned some things in there that I was surprised we were going to learn. But ultimately, at the heart of this case is a fake permit that was transmitted to the applicant that the police found. But before I talk about that, the applicant apologizes that she didn't indicate that she was married and long estranged from her husband. She was in the process of divorcing him. She had not been with him for 20 years. She considered herself to be single. We amended that. She also apologizes for her boyfriend, who was actually the son of her partner, who was also the landlord. She didn't know what was happening when the police were there. He became a little aggressive with the police and was not cooperative. He blurted out he was an owner when he wasn't. He also said he was her husband, which he wasn't. We didn't talk today. The man has an alpha personality. He's very domineering. And she realizes that he cannot be involved with her business. He's just too controlling, and he should be as far away from this restaurant as she can possibly get him, in my view. I don't think he served her well. The real reason for the disapproval, I believe, was the fake permits. And I brought out, and I had disclosed it to licensing a full 10 or 15 days before the disapproval in detail. And it had to be proven to me first, because I wasn't going to take this case. When I was told that an attorney in office of the court had provided fake permits, I didn't believe it, and I had it be proven to me, and it was proven to me. And he admitted at the hearing that he had transmitted these documents. Now, he tried to claim that he didn't produce them, He doesn't know where he got them from. He doesn't know who produced them. He's going to have to deal with the Nassau County District Attorney on that, as a grand jury has been impaneled. The place was a eyesore before this family took it over in 2000, and they put $1 million into it. It's on the Nautical Mile. It was run down. They basically gut renovated it. There's parking underneath, then there's 2 floors above. They did operate on a temporary permit without issues for several months before they hired the attorney to make some LLC changes and to extend it. He took the money, he didn't do it. He assured them that he did. Ms. Bihari is perhaps a little too trusting and naive, and she understands now that she needs to ask more questions and not rely on others for very important things like making sure that your liquor license permit is active. I understand why licensing board made the decision it made at the time, based on the information that they have. I'm not sure that the licensing board member who issued the disapproval was aware that I had self-reported this long before the police did. I am asking you to give them a second chance. It's a beautiful place. The community loves it, and there's a lot more people at stake besides Miss Baby Harry. This lady here, she's a landlord and an LLC member. She's not involved in the management. They probably have 15 employees who've been out of work. I'm sure there's a large mortgage on the building, and the place is built out. It's a beautiful. They're behind in taxes, and they need to make this place worse. So we're asking for a second chance.
They own the building?
Miss Leo, yeah, Miss Gear does. Mrs. Gear.
I just don't agree with you that this wouldn't have been taken anyway. I completely disagree with you.
That you don't disagree with what?
That the fact that you want us to believe she was not aware of the temporary permits, even if I take that to be true, I still believe this temporary would have been yanked for the other behavior that you've now apologized for. So you basically want us to take her apology and give her her temp back.
Oh, the other two things were that she didn't check off that she was married. She was in the process of divorcing a guy for 20 years. There's no reason for that.
It's a misrepresentation.
She considered herself single.
And then and then the behavior that occurred when the police came, that would have been the end of the temp.
And she apologized for the fact that she allowed her boyfriend.
I get that, but if I gave the temps back to every licensee that came in and apologized, what's the point of doing all of this?
Things were happening really fast. She wasn't aware that the permits that she had just been given by an.
I'm not talking about the permits. I'm talking about the fact that there was people that were disclosing themselves as owners of the business that now admittedly were not. That she says she didn't know about.
And
that's according to her and you.
In the same police report, he quickly recanted that he was an owner. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't know that these permits were fake. And you had these.
Keep focusing on that, but I'm going and basically going to take that at face value and say, all right, say she didn't know about the permits, that she didn't know they were fake. What about everything else that happened? Would that have?
What is everything else that happened? Her boyfriend wasn't cooperative with the police. He's got a chip on his shoulder about law enforcement because he's black. She's got to keep him out of there. That's all there is to it. She was running the place okay. He stepped up to try to be protective of the mother of his children. And he even took a bullet for her and allowed himself to be arrested and spend the night in jail.
I just don't find anything here that's going to.
Can you please give us a second chance, please?
I would, if you can apply again.
Even for the summer?
Yeah. I mean, we're not asking for the temp back. The application's been fully reviewed. The application's been fully reviewed. I don't see the point in refiling the application. I would also point out that they applied in 2020 and were approved, and because of COVID, a year went by, they couldn't get the building built. Refiling, I don't really see what it gives us. The ALJ credited her explanation about checking off not being married. We provided the divorce records. The man she's living with now, he refers to her as his wife, and she refers to him as his husband.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. The altercation that occurred on December 10th that started inside the premise and then moved to the street. In the course of responding, they determined the premise was operating without a license. It's not just the license. That's
The altercation was minor and it happened outside.
It was so minor, the police came.
Well, I mean, we want police to come to altercations, don't we? I mean,
Yeah, but I don't want licensees to have them.
She gets-
Particularly licensees on temporary licenses.
two people exchanged words at a bar and they went
Which
outside.
then led to her boyfriend saying he owned the place and getting into a, for lack of a better word, a disagreement or a physical altercation with police, whatever you want to call it.
He didn't get into physical. That's not in the record.
But for that alone, she's going to lose her temp. It doesn't matter about the temporary licenses. That if that got back to licensing, you're going to lose your temp. So I get what you're saying, and that requires me to believe that she didn't know about the fact that they were false. So there's a huge leap here.
I understand
that I'm
about-
just not willing to make.
I understand about the temp.
Where is this, Juan, where is this license application? It was denied, I take it?
Yes. Yeah, it was denied,
December and
January.
And you
6th.
were asked to do this a different way, and you didn't do it. You
Who?
decided you were going to try to blow up the reconsideration process in order to have this done.
No, I didn't. Not on this. I wanted a hearing on this. I wanted a hearing on this.
When was it denied?
I wanted to cross-examine the attorney, which I did.
You should have done it then. You wasted 4 or 5 months of her time.
I thought it was important to get to the bottom of the temporary permits and why there were fake ones on the wall, and I did that.
And I'm just telling you that it was less important than you found out it was.
Well, that was a judgment.
Because of the other issues.
If you read the police report.
Where is that now, Juan? It's denied?
Yes.
Guess they could ask for recon on that.
Well,
No, they can't
no, they
ask for
can't. They
recon, 'cause that's
already,
what this is.
this is a disapproval hearing.
Yeah, this is his approval.
You can treat it as a recon. You have that discretion.
No, I can't.
Oh,
Can
we
you-
already
because
went
you
through
asked
the
for
hearing.
this. You shouldn't have asked for this.
The whole point of the request for reconsideration.
This is, and I wanted to get on the phone with you because you wanted to blow up the recon situation for everybody. This is exactly why we created recon. This is the reason, so that we did have some level of discretion to do things.
The problem with the reconsideration
There is no
process.
problem with it.
Yes,
You
there is
think
one.
there is because you don't get to cross-examine some attorney that you think offended your client. When in reality, if this had come in 2 weeks later and the police came in and told us, hey, we don't think she did know about it, that would have been enough. But you had to go the way you had to go and then threaten to destroy the recon process, which is exactly what you did do.
The problem with the recon process is if one person gets up on the wrong side of the bed, it can be
You know
disapproved.
who does the recons?
No, no.
I do. You want to know how the percentage of them that end up coming back to this board? It's well over 70. So if you're going to sit there and talk about somebody being biased against somebody's client, you're talking to me. All right, put this over for 2 weeks. I need to
Can you please, for the summer?
talk to some other lawyers about this.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
5/24.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's fine. Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next is 594J, 96 Wine and Liquor Inc. 594J.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. 594J.
Yeah, Natalie Fang is the president of the corporation. Jay, I'm the representative. I'm gonna let them go the opposition.
Good morning, or good afternoon, rather. Francis Buscemi for the licensee, 57th Avenue Liquor and Wine, Inc., in opposition to this application. With me today is the owner and her She doesn't speak English. Her son-in-law is with her as well.
What's the store?
I'm sorry?
What's the name of the store?
57th Avenue Liquor and Wine, Inc. So the 57th Avenue Liquor and Wine, Inc. is located 264 feet away from the applicant on the same avenue of 57th, which is 57th Avenue. The applicant is requesting a license for 2,952 square foot store with 1,300 square feet of retail space. As indicated in my submission, there are 21 liquor stores within a 1 mile of the applicant. Of the 5 closest liquor stores that you obtain gross sales letters from, the furthest of those liquor stores is a little over 0.3 of a mile from the applicant. And all of those stores are located on the south side of the Long Island Expressway, as is the applicant. There is little to no new residential development in the area, which is taking place. And when we look at the population statistics, population has had very little growth or has had negative growth over the past 20 years. Within 0.2 of a mile from the proposed location, the population is down by a little over 0.5% over those 20 years. When you go to 0.3 of a mile over a 20-year period, the population increased just a little less than 0.5%. And when you go to a half-mile radius of this location, the population over the 20-year period increased less than 6% over 20 years. When you look at the zip code data, the zip code 11368, where the applicant is located, the demographic data shows a downward trend in population since 2015. Now, 57th Avenue Wine and Liquors is an 1,800 square foot store with 900 square feet of retail space. The store adequately serves the community, carries approximately 4,000 product SKUs. It's open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and also open on Sunday till 9 p.m. We've also given you two charts, to show what's been happening with sales, specifically of 57th Avenue Liquor and Wines. There's been a noticeable decrease in sales from 2022, which is continuing in 2023. And the chart, which is Exhibit B, compares the month-to-month sales of the business. So for each and every month of 2022, there's been a decline in sales from the 2021 sales for that particular month. The first quarter of 2023 shows a continuing decline, and unfortunately, it's a dramatic decline. The business sales for the first quarter of 2022 show between a 40 and 50% decrease each month from the 2021 sales. And I gave you an example, so just simply looking at 2021 for January. 2021, 2022, and 2023 January sales. You're going from 130 to 118 to 66. Now, coupled with that is, and because the business is trying to stay competitive, it has maintained its retail pricing to consumers, even though there have been substantial increases in the wholesale price at which it has to buy goods, and we give you examples of that as well. One example is stated in my letter is Jack Daniels. So you can see not only are sales going down, but profit margin is also decreased dramatically. Now, when we're looking at the other stores, we have PR Liquor and Wines. That's a 1,065 square foot store located a quarter of a mile from the applicant.
Its sales are between $300,000 and $500,000 a year. Costler Wines and Liquors, a 1,500 square foot store. Okay, its sales are in the $400,000 range. The largest of these stores, Phoenix Spirits, Inc., which is a 4,000 square foot store, and that's located on the service road of the expressway. And that shows substantial sales. However, when we look at the history of those sales, we see that it's also showing a dramatic decrease. All right, so I note that its sales decreased from 2021 to 2022 by over $600,000, which is over an 8% decrease in sales for the year. We don't believe that public convenience and advantage would be served by putting another store in the mix, certainly not so close to the other existing stores, certainly not as close as 264 feet on the same avenue as my client's store, which is showing dramatic, substantial decreases.
R&R is closed.
I'm sorry, Commissioner?
R is closed.
PR, is it?
No, RR Liquor and Wine at 59-10 99th Street.
They just try to extension, they're doing construction right now.
They're doing construction right now?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, apparently
Enforcement.
they know about some,
The enforcement visited the premises on February 24th and confirmed that the premises is vacant. And there's a
it's vacant?
disciplinary matter going on now. Yes, to revoke.
You're saying it's vacant?
It's vacant, sir.
Meaning they left or they're doing work?
I believe they have a license problem, I guess.
No, they
Yes,
do
lost the
they have
license.
one now, but
The store is vacant as of now.
ask your client, did they leave permanently?
I'm not sure.
is the,
I have heard
you
because
spoke first?
All right.
All right, this, may I ask, the license is still in existence?
Yeah, it's not
Right.
safekeeping, yes.
Right, I'm being told that they're considering doing an expansion or something, and they've closed down, but I don't know. I don't know.
I don't want to waste anybody's time. I gotta find that out.
You want to hold it over and find it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that okay, Commissioner? Yeah. All right, so we're gonna hold this over to May 24th, just to find
And can
more
you send
information
enforcement
about that vacant package store.
to bring the guy in? I want to know specifically what
Okay.
the deal is.
She said the owner of that store was came to her father looking for the space to move. That's what.
He never told us about it, so. All right, 524, thank you.
All right, it's over to 524.
When you come back, 524.
You want to come back on 524?
Next is 587.
Okay, we have another case.
Or are you ever going back there again?
587, Chun
you gonna come back?
Wine and Liquor, Inc.
There's one other store that I'm not representing that's in opposition.
Okay, he can
Do you
come
want-
back.
Do you want, well, I don't know whether he can.
Do you want to hear from him?
Do you want to
or-
hear from him now, just to get it on the record?
Go ahead.
Hey, I'm the owner from 2JWY.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've been here like 5 years. And then we carry almost 3,000, 4,000 variety. And we have the area for the Argentina wine, Asian, and our open time is 10 to 10:30. Weekends 11 to 11:30.
And how close are you to the applicant?
It's five,
This is,
500 square feet.
what store is this?
2JW. 500
Just
square
over
feet.
about like 2,000 square feet, maybe. Not 2,000.
How far?
2,000.
All right, just give me a minute, okay?
Oh, 2,000 feet.
Feet,
Okay.
2,000.
Why don't you,
That's a quarter,
Yeah, it's-
this is 2J?
Yeah, 2J, yeah.
4 miles,
That's-
I got it.
Yeah, it's-
0.389.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
So 524, no more.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay, that's why you put it on the record.
Next is 587, Chun May Zhang Wine and Liquor
I'll
Inc.
speak to you later.
Okay. Yeah. Say the number, no.
587.
Put it, yeah, the next one. 587. You guys
Chun
don't
May,
need to
yep,
send it
Chun
out.
May.
You guys apparently were canceled.
Hi, my name is Barbie Chum. I'm the representative for Chan Mei Shan Wei Wine and Liquor Inc.
It's 587. Okay, so this is a request for reconsideration, and
Go ahead.
are you the opposition? Wait, who's the applicant? Are you opposition?
Yes.
No, it's a request for reconsideration.
Let the
so
applicant go first.
Yeah.
We don't even need the opposition.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Hi, my name is Barbie Chum. I'm the representative for Chan Mei Shan Wine and Liquor Inc. So do you need to know anything further?
Well,
or you
your,
just-
your license was denied because it was here at the board in early May, and nobody showed up, so we denied the application even though the opposition did show up. And now you're asking us to reconsider it. Why should we reconsider it? The opposition now has shown up again, so they've now come twice.
I totally understand. That was the time during COVID. We call your office and someone of the, yes, that's what during
May 10th, 2023 it was on. I'm sorry, not.
No, it was 2022.
March 23rd, 27.
It was December 8th, 2022, when it came before the full board.
Yeah.
We actually make a phone call to the office.
Can you push that mic up?
Yes.
Thank you.
We actually called the office before the board meeting, and one of the representatives informed us that we don't need to personally show up in the meetings. Therefore, we didn't even show up for the meeting during that time.
Who told you that?
The representative from the phone that we made the phone call to.
And you don't get a
It was a lady that picked up the phone, but I
You
didn't.
said you don't need to go to the full
Yes.
board hearing.
Exactly.
I find that hard to believe.
I find it impossible.
It is true though. I make a phone call myself.
Yeah.
So the reason why we're here today is we wanted to show to the record that my client opening the store is completely different than any of the liquor license than other the store down there. So basically, the applicant store opens 7 days a week. Applicant will offer delivery service during business hour. Applicant during selection will have liquor selection be focused on Asian liquor and wine. As the application seeking to specialize the liquor store as an Asian liquor specialty store, which applicant will carry out to 80% of the liquor, Asian liquor, where customer can go to applicant to purchase specialty liquor, not as an ordinary wine or liquor store. So basically, a lot of liquor store right now outside, they carry like KATONAH, Jack Daniel, Maker's Mark. None of these brand will be carried inside my client's store. So they will carry all the Asian brown store, liquor, such as the Wuliang, Liu, Crystal, Baijiu, and stuff like that. So it will be completely different than any other liquor that they operate out there. And they will provide also the opposition for the existing liquor store should not have been credited because applicants specialize in Asian liquor and wine selection and providing delivery service to the customer. In addition, applicant store provide packaged cocktail kit. Its method of business operation strategy is completely different than any of the existing liquor store. Also, Sunset Park currently present evidence that the population of the Sunset Park neighborhood had increased in population from 2010 to 2022. The Sunset Park borough gained nearly 230,000 residents from 2010 to 2020, accounting for 30% of the population growth citywide.
You're telling me that Sunset Park's population went up 230,000 people?
Yes, from 2010 to 2020, 230,000 residents.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
You're not really explaining why
We also
we
have
should reconsider this.
All right. Okay, so SLA should not deny reconsideration without explaining why application was denied when 43 Liquors Inc. was awarded a license 4 years early despite similar if not the identical circumstance. And SLA answer and submission in opposition do not direct address the different treatment between 43rd Liquors Inc. 2009 application and applicant's most recent application. And like I say, the applicant is offering a unique product and service that is not available to the public in the area, and its goods and service are unavailable at the existing store. Therefore, we believe that her approving her license has public interest and advantage.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Donna, we're ready.
On the request for reconsideration.
I'm gonna vote no, there's no new information.
And Chairman Bradley.
I'm gonna vote no as well. I didn't see any new information. We considered that. And on top of that, there are 27 stores within a mile and a half. There's 9 stores within a mile. This area is, in my estimation, saturated with liquor stores.
Is there any way that the applicant can modify her application to apply for a wine store
Not
rather than?
today, no. She can certainly put an application in, as anybody can, for a wine store. Thank you.
All right. I'm gonna go fix the mic. All right. 1 second. I'll be right back. Sure.
Because it was COVID.
Can you hear me all right? Like,
Yeah.
okay? Like this?
Can
with the
see
mic?
you good too, Don.
That's good.
Oh.
All right. Again, reminder, please don't touch the mic. Unless I ask you to. Next is 557 Wonder Liquor Inc.
Francis Buscemi for the licensee. This is a CNC offer. Civil penalty of $2,500.
The number, sorry.
557.
Got a lot going on here.
Yeah, look, he messed up, obviously. Stupid. I'm not making excuses, scared, frightened. It was stupid. But the store has been in existence for 14 years. And, I've had conversations about what happened. I don't foresee anything like this happening again.
Did we ask anybody? All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna take 2,500.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to counter at 5,000 and make it clear that he escaped. You and I both know what's going on here.
I'm not thinking.
And it's literally by the luck of I don't know what that he didn't get caught. But if he did get caught, both stores that were involved would have been closed. He probably deserves to be closed, but he got a free pass, so it's going to cost another 2,500.
So, okay, so we have a unanimous. All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. Next is 554 Unique Fusion LLC.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Commissioner, members of the board. My name is Howard Levine. I'm the attorney for Unique Fusion, applicant for a restaurant wine license. I believe we're here today because the prior licensee had its license revoked. There is no connection between this applicant LLC or either one of its members
And the prior
What are the
licensing.
hours of this place?
The hours as approved by the community board are Sunday to Wednesday, midnight, and Thursday to Saturday, 2 a.m. They have no live music, no private parties, no promoters. It is a real restaurant in the traditional sense, run by Anunya Clark, who is an executive chef.
And they're open now without alcohol?
They're open now on temporaries. They've had temporaries for the last 10 months.
Oh, with alcohol, okay.
With alcohol,
All right.
10-month temporaries, no issues.
All right,
All
I'm
right,
gonna
Donald.
vote to approve. No pride events, no third-party promoters, 2 a.m. Friday, Saturday, midnight, Sunday to Thursday. Recorded music only.
Could we respectfully request Thursday to 2 a.m. in compliance with what the community board stipulated?
Sure, Sunday to Wednesday, midnight, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 2 a.m.
Thank you.
And I'll vote the same with the same conditions.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Next is 594B, Liquor King Mart Inc. V as in Victor.
B.
V as in Victor.
My name is Sam Park. I'm the representative for here, Liquor King Mark. Here is the package store removal.
What's the number?
There's water damage at
594, V as in Victor. V as in Victor.
Oh, V.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
I'm here the principal with the owners.
What's the water damage from?
It's from the ceiling in the back of the store.
Every time it's raining.
But they won't fix it?
Right, the landlord refuses to fix it. And every time it rains, the water comes into the building.
So you're walking out of your lease? Or is your lease over?
Our lease will end within 3 years, and we will have to walk out of the lease, yes.
Any protests here? No. All right.
Commissioner Fan
Yeah, I'm gonna vote to approve.
and Chairman Bradley.
I'll vote to approve as well.
Thank you, member. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, members.
Yes, thank you.
Next is 564 and 565, Illusions Hookah and Mixology Lounge Inc. No one signed in for that? Illusions Hookah and Mixology Lounge Inc. Okay. No, look that.
Did we already try to bring them in?
No, this hasn't been held over.
And then bring them in.
Okay.
Make sure they show up.
Over. 64, 65.
So put it on 524.
524.
Wait, what number was that again?
564.
564 and 565.
Illusions.
Make sure no one actually signed in.
Yep.
Okay. 567, 4352, KATONAH Avenue Inc. Five, six, seven.
Good afternoon, Terrence Flynn on behalf of the licensee. This is an offer of compromise to resolve the charges.
Do they have food now?
Yes, they do.
Okay, I will accept 3,000.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept. Must be tough to get you out of the beach this time of year.
It's early yet in the season.
Never
Are you
too early.
594L, Harlem's Own Wine and Liquor LLC?
594. Oh.
594L, Harlem's Own Wine and Liquor LLC.
I don't believe there's opposition here. If you just want to check.
There are two protests, none of which are here.
This store is a 750 square foot store, which is not bulletproof. It will be open so customers can come in.
So our records indicate it is bulletproof.
There was an error because there is one cabinet that has glass that the high priced items are behind. Otherwise, it is an open store. We have pictures I can show you if you'd like, but it is definitely an open store. The population in the area has increased by 1,500 people since the last census. There are several new developments which we have provided you. There is one on the block with 22 units. There's another 400-unit building.
Well, I'm going to stop you there. I'll vote to approve this with the caveat that he is not bulletproof.
That's fine. That's no problem.
Because everybody around him
Him
is
yes.
bulletproof. So I'll vote to approve. I find public convenience an advantage because all the surrounding nearby stores are bulletproof. And this applicant has indicated he will be operating an open store.
Commissioner Fan?
Yes, I'm gonna agree with Chairman. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you.
Next is 584 Jewel BARCO LLC.
Same appearance. This is a offer of compromise to resolve the charges in this matter.
584. Councilman Bond. Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
All right.
Everyone have a nice day. Have a nice Mother's Day. Thank you very much.
See ya.
Next is 594W SUSI Villa T Playground Inc.
594W.
594W.
Good afternoon. Joseph Levy here on behalf of SUSI Villa T Playground Inc. I have with me the principal, Viviana, and her general manager, Clement. The application before you, I'm assuming you.
So I think we have an idea of what's the establishment's going to be. Why did in your estimation, the ALJ said no public interest?
I couldn't tell you, Chairman. What I can tell you is that I did not go to the community board with this applicant. I was introduced to her post-community board meeting through a mutual friend that felt that she had gotten a.
No, I just mean the ALJ.
Oh, I don't know. We submitted our submissions to the ALJ. We tried to go back to the community board. They wouldn't hear us. Like I said, her former counsel, for whatever reason, did not want to lean into what the idea was here and wanted to keep it generic as a neighborhood bar, which did her a massive disservice.
So let me tell you this. Full disclosure, I know her very well, the applicant. She serves at a restaurant that I visit all the time.
That's the general manager.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, so you know the general manager?
I know her, yes. And you're the applicant?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
I also know this community board really well.
Mhm.
I think you need to go back.
Well, with all due respect, it's been 18 months. This application's been pending for well over a year before we even got traction on a deficiency that was last completed in November. We've waited a very long time. We asked the community board if we could come back. They told us no. I explained to the co-chair of the subcommittee what had happened. They said no. She's been paying rent now for almost 2 years in the space and hasn't been able to operate. The space has been previously
But
licensed.
I'm either gonna deny or I'm gonna send you back, and they said they would take you back, so I think you should go back.
Who said they would take us back?
Community board.
We've offered
I haven't
many
seen
times,
Did they tell you they'd take them back?
They will take them back.
but it's 2 years later. I mean, it seems like they've been punished for no good
I can
reason
also
here.
get a denial because it's very, very, very unlikely that I get a letter from CB4 saying denial, and so
I know, but my problem with the letter from CB4 is they do not, at least in my estimation, seem to articulate one valid reason other than.
well, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
is that there's someone against-
I got an impression that it was not in my neighborhood. That's the way I felt reading it.
That's exactly what they said.
That's how it's been portrayed to me as well. And
I'm
again,
not, they did not say that. That's
No.
the impression I got.
of course, and this is a space that's been licensed historically with late hours, with no issues on the record. I mean, this is not a place that's never been licensed previously.
But if you're going to deny it, then they can go back. But I
I'm
hope,
giving you the opportunity.
but I hope,
I
can we
get it.
convey to the
I know,
community
but we-
board that they need to.
But it's not that, I mean, we got a couple letters from neighbors that are saying,
And I think the basis is the same. As he said, this place has been licensed for 25 years.
well,
No one's ever done us the courtesy of sharing any information. I work with CB4 all the time. I was just there last night. I have a
we
very
both
good
do.
relationship there.
I trust that you can try just one more time. Just try one more time, because I don't want to give you a license with their objection. That actually hurts them, because it ends up being a problem on the other side of it.
So can I?
They're gonna start saying, we never wanted this, and then it's gonna be chaos for her. So I would really rather you take this month and go get stipulations from them, because I know they are going to issue them.
Can I ask you, if I request to come back on this and they deny me, can I get back here in a hurry?
Yes.
And in their resolution, you see they
You
say
can call me
deny,
and I will figure you out.
they say deny, but if you're going to approve this, they give us stipulations that are more restrictive than any license in this community, and I don't have any other way to interpret that than the way that the chairman suggested.
Try.
I
and see what
don't,
you can
listen,
get
don't
and
put
we'll
words in my mouth. All I'm telling you is the feeling I got.
I hear you, I had the same feeling,
No one said that, but that's the feeling.
When are we holding this over?
But that's not the group of people we're talking about.
I
so
agree,
don't
it's
think
not
that-
traditionally been my experience either, and that's why I was confused
That's why
by
I'm
this.
trying to have this conversation, and let's see what we can get from them, and then we'll have a conversation again. If
Okay.
you're not happy with it, let's talk about it.
When are
okay?
we holding this?
Yeah, no,
And I know her, so.
How long do you
I
need?
hear
For
you.
many years.
10
Look,
years, know her every day.
How long do you need?
I mean, I can notify the board today. They just had their meeting last night, so they won't meet again till till next month. So it's gonna be another
So
meeting.
June what? Do you think they'll meet?
21.
June? Okay.
If they refuse to meet with you, call me and then we'll just put it back on.
I mean, like put it back on earlier if they refuse to meet with them?
I'll do it, yeah. You don't have to worry about it. I'll have them call me. If they won't meet with them or they refuse to meet with them, or they say there's no productive reason to meet with you, then call me and I'll put it back on earlier.
Okay, is there anyone you'd like me to speak to specifically at the board? Because
All of them.
all of them.
You can talk to Jesse, you can talk to Frank, you can talk to them.
Okay,
I mean, and then.
I will do
you know,
that again.
And just, once again, towards their point, we have 5 restaurants, 2 taverns, and 1 hotel within 500 feet. This is not a saturated area.
I know, it's just, I know that. Chairman, I totally agree with you, and I would just give it to them. It's just that it creates an issue eventually on the other side. We've had this problem before. Then they are gonna say, there's one business we didn't approve.
I know,
That's
but
just
they're
how-
not giving valid reasons why they're not approving it.
Well, look, Levy is
They're not
saying-
giving any reasons,
look,
really.
This representative saying that he hasn't had the go around. He hasn't had the opportunity to have that conversation.
All right.
I've spoken to the community board personally. As soon as I took this case, I called them and said, hey, there was a mistake with representation here. I'd love to come back and do this the right way. And they said, no, it's closed.
All right, try it again.
But I'll try again.
And like I said, if you fail, you could be back here in 2 weeks.
All right, and I mean, look, for what it's worth, no one from the community board has shown up here a few times it's been on the calendar, has sent anything additional into
Which
you
I did
guys.
notice,
have,
which I
they
did
have.
notice as well. No, they did not.
No,
show
they
up
didn't.
here. It was on
No,
twice.
They didn't show up, but they did send more. They did send.
But I have noticed that as
We
well.
weren't provided anything from the 500-foot rule hearing either, other than the initial resolution. So if it was something that people really were upset about, in my experience, they'll show up.
As mine, but we'll see what happens. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Just one more time. Just try one more time. Trust me.
Okay,
Next
try.
is
We'll try one
5,
more time.
yeah. Yep. Next is 594R, Room and Boards LLC.
Joseph Levy here on behalf of Room and Boards. I'll make this really easy. I'm going to withdraw this application altogether, which is the easiest thing we can do for everybody, but I would like to make a statement on the record if you deem it appropriate.
Sure.
Okay, so the story here is this application was disapproved for a failure to disclose involvement with another license application, which was disapproved for a failure to provide a material fact. I just wanted to dig into that for a second because categorically that makes them sound like bad people and they're trying to
So
intentionally
I'm
hide
gonna be
something.
honest with you, I was gonna grant the license. So you sure you want to disapprove
Yeah,
it?
so was I. I don't know why we kind of.
There was an issue with the landlord and the lease and the whole thing fell
Oh,
apart.
So I realized what they did, but I saw it as nobody's that stupid
And I,
to do that intentionally.
right, so just to put it on the record to make it super clear, this actually went before an ALJ. We had a hearing on this. The ALJ found in our favor that there was no 200-foot rule issue. And the reason that license was abandoned was because it was a corporate restructuring that they chose not to do because of COVID. So they reverted to the old situation, which is currently existing and active. So there was no intent to not disclose
Yeah,
anything
no,
they should have.
I assumed it was a screw up because
Yeah.
you know, we get that information.
Correct. So I just wanted to be super clear on that.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys, and I'll be in touch.
All right, Jonathan, there's nothing else, right?
Right.
All right.
All right.
Not gonna make the 155 unless there's a, unless I turn into
Out the door now.
unless I turn into the
Try.
Flash momentarily.
All right, so 547 is an offer of 5,000.
Council's office
take
is
5,000.
going
Wait.
to,
Oh.
Council's office is going to move to amend the notice of pleading to add a charge for failure to supervise on or before July 30th, 2022.
Okay, so we'll send this back to council's office because they're adding a charge.
Or we can just counter, I'm gonna counter 10,000
Okay, I'll count it at 10,000.
Wait,
for the
so,
two charges.
so we're amending right now, adding the
Yeah,
charge,
Yeah, and then it's a counter offer.
counter offer.
Our offer was 5,000, we're
Oh.
countering at 10,000.
Yeah.
Does a new notice pleading need to be sent out along with the,
What?
a new notice of pleading?
Yes, yeah, new notice of pleading has to be sent out.
Yeah, I'm going to call the attorney after.
But you can send the CNC offer with the notice of pleading, he can do it.
Maston's, that's.
Okay.
See, if Tom was here, he would talk us out of doing it like this,
Yeah.
but we're doing it like this.
Which is me being like, are you sure?
Go against Tom.
I hope he's listening. I bet he's not, though.
Oh,
All right.
all right.
549 and 550 is an offer of 20,000.
I'll accept 20,000.
Chairman.
Accept.
551 is an offer of 3,000.
I'll accept 3,000.
Accept.
553 is an offer of 200.
I'll accept 200.
Why did I have cancel and bond for the record? Oh, because it's canceled already. All right, I'll accept 200. We won't get the money.
555 is an no contest default of hearing.
Cancel and bond.
Yeah, cancel and bond. The bond's available, we're told.
560 is an offer of 6,000.
I'll take 6,000.
Accept.
561 is an offer of 2,500.
2,500.
2,500.
562 is a no contest default of pleading.
I'll take 1,000.
1,000 in honor of Commissioner Ford.
566 is a no contest default at hearing.
I will take cancel and bond.
Cancel, bond.
568 is a default at pleading.
I take 7,000.
7,000.
569 is a default at pleading.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
This is the fourth sale.
575, got a request to adjourn to May 24th. They need more time to prepare.
575.
575.
524, is that good?
Yep, that's what they asked for. Is that okay, Chairman?
Yep.
So with 581, this app was withdrawn prior to the meeting.
581 is withdrawn.
It was withdrawn by the,
What happened to 580?
we did that. That was when Buffalo and Albany.
Okay.
582.
582 is an offer of 5,000.
I'll accept 5,000.
Accept.
583 is an offer of cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
585 was an offer of 3,000.
I'll accept.
This is, there's a pending licensing matter on this. Oh, no.
This is 585?
585.
All right, 3,000. I'll accept.
Accept.
586 is a default at hearing.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
588, this went to hearing.
I'm going to overrule on charge one, the ALJ's ruling. I think that the ALJ overanalyzed the police department's notes. The notes indicate that there's an insufficient kitchen, which to me means the same thing in our law as having no kitchen at all. And it's completely consistent with their testimony. And there was no defense to that charge. So I'm going to reinstate charge one, sustain charge two, or sustain charge 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 8,000.
8,000.
Okay. 589 was a class change is a class change application for on premises
I
violence.
thought they were supposed to show up for this.
They we're supposed to show up to 426. We didn't hear anything else. Wait. Did I hear, wait a minute.
Let's hold it over for,
Did I hear something from, maybe I didn't.
let's hold it over one more time.
So, yep, 524. Chairman?
Yep.
590 is an offer of 1,500.
I'll accept 1,500.
Accept.
591 is an offer of 15,000. And
Accept 15,000.
council's office requests a withdrawal charge to.
Okay, withdrawal charge to 15,000.
Withdraw charge to 15,000.
592 and 93 is an offer of 7,000.
Oh, this is definitely no.
I was countering at 10 or bring them in.
Yeah, they need to come in.
Do you want to hold it over?
Yeah.
They think they're a nightclub. On Northern Boulevard.
594 is a default at hearing.
Cancel for the record. They're closed already.
594A. This is
I don't have the
oh. Okay.
All right, so this is a resolution for Mark Faring. I'm not going to read the resolution because Mark has already, it's a resolution in recognition and appreciation on his retirement. Mark retired 2 weeks ago from the SLA. We were supposed to have a presentation here, and he was going to be closed circuit in Albany. He wasn't real looking forward to that. So this is probably works best that there's nobody in the room and there's nobody in Albany. But and I'm not going to read the resolution, but it will be forwarded to him in recognition of our appreciation of his service. Mark spent, I've been here 8 years. Mark's here at least 10. How long?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Was
So
it 13?
13 years.
15, I
He
believe.
works in counsel's office. All of the lawyers here know Mark. Mark was in charge of basically legally analyzing the reconsiderations that came in. So I got to see his work regularly. And he also did almost 100% of our litigation that involved Article 78s. He was exceptional at it. He's a hard worker, wonderful to deal with. He's going to be sorely missed. Most don't realize this, but we don't really utilize the Attorney General's office as our law firm because we had Mark. We are now going to be forced to do that without him. He was a subject matter expert, and we've lost a great deal of institutional knowledge with him walking out the door, but we wish him the best of luck and only the best in his future endeavors. So, Mark, congratulations, and thank you very much.
Graduated law school with Tom, so that tells you
That's his
everything.
one drawback. He did graduate law school with Tom Donahue.
Thank you, Mark, for your 16 years of service.
Was it 16? I said 13, it was 16, so he's been here quite a while.
Next is 594B and 594C. This is an offer of 20,000.
I'm gonna accept 20,000.
Oh, I was gonna cancel them both.
Oh.
Failure to permit inspection twice in 2 days.
Okay.
But no, what'd you say? Take 20? How about we just go to 30? Counter at 30.
Counter at 30.
594A is a change in method of operation.
I didn't, what did I do with
Wait,
that?
A?
A, not A.
Wait, no, not A.
E is an echo.
D is the held over, right?
The one that we have over?
Yeah, D,
Yeah, that-
Cielo is held over, right? Or did we decide that already?
D? I mean, that would have been a,
We can't, either this gets held over or denied, because we put the limits on this license
E?
for a reason. E, yeah.
E is an echo.
Okay, then let's hold this over.
524 for them to
For the
appear.
appear.
524.
Okay. F,
594F, another change in method of operation.
the same, right? I think we need to put this over. Or are you okay with it?
I don't, no, we can put it over.
Yeah, let's put that over. They need to come in.
Over to 524.
Yeah. A lot on 524.
594H is a new on-premises wine.
I'm okay with this one. 11 p.m. across the board, recorded music only. I'm gonna vote to
Yes.
approve.
Okay, so
I'll vote
11
to approve
p.m.
with the
recorded
same-
music only.
I'll vote to approve with the same,
days,
with the same, conditions.
Conditions.
so I'm sorry, so 11 PM all days and.
Recorded music only. 594K is a package store removal.
I'm going to vote yes on that.
Chairman.
Yes.
594M is a new on-premises liquor.
This has mayor support. I'm going to vote yes to approve.
Yeah, I'll vote to approve two. They're on a temporary license and operating successfully, and the mayor does support, and there is no protest.
594N is a grocery store removal.
I'm gonna vote yes on that.
Yes.
594A is a new grocery store beer wine product.
94N?
I'm sorry.
This is where they're selling it to the Sun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna vote to deny.
I'll vote to deny as well.
594P, a new grocery store application.
I was gonna vote no on it. I don't have confidence. I can hold it over or I can vote no.
Applicant's employment history not, yeah, I mean, the problem I had here is the applicant's employment history is not consistent with a previous application by the same applicant for a package store in 2020. He's buying the business from the last denied applicant. There's something funny going on here. I'm gonna vote to deny.
Yeah.
He is a denial.
So denied.
He is a denial.
594S is a new on-premises wine.
I was okay with this one.
Yes, the CB does not oppose. Hours are 1 a.m. outdoor area. I don't know what the hours are though. That's the CB agreed to a 1 a.m. close. Maybe there is no outdoor area. All right, I'll vote to approve 1 a.m. close.
1 a.m. close.
1 a.m. close.
All right. I have nothing else. Chairman, do you have anything?
No.
Yes.
No.
Or am I missing something?
No.
Okay. Meeting's adjourned.